around 15 kilometres from the city itself, and they're bracing for all eventualities. Tegan says she grew up with summer bushfires on the south coast, but this feels different.
So incredibly unpredictable and equally so unprecedented as well. So it's really everybody's sort of waiting on bated breath to see what the next sort of hours and days will have in store for us.
Singer Carly Simon has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and skin cancer. The 83-year-old says her absence from the spotlight has been due to her ongoing health battles. And British actor and broadcaster Bill Oddie has died at the age of 85. He was best known to Australian audiences through the 1970s TV show The Goodies. Turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, over 50 years strong. All colours, all styles, all street appeal. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Brisbane defender Ty Gallop is expecting to miss multiple games on a serious misconduct charge after being sent straight to the tribunal. The MRO found Gallop deliberately dumped Mitch Georgiades' head into the Gabba turf on Sunday. That was during Brisbane's win over Port Adelaide. Meantime, Max King is devastated after another hamstring injury ruled him out for the rest of the season. In some better news, though, for the Saints, Darcy Wilson has signed a contract extension that'll keep him at Moorabbin until the end of at least 2028. Still on footy, Christian Petrarca concedes he was too passionate with his on-field feedback to young Gold Coast teammate Leo Lombard. Let's go to the Commonwealth Games, and there's been plenty of action on the track, and Rosie Davies has stunned the field. That was to claim gold in the women's 10,000 metres. Meanwhile, 100 metre sprint hope Tori Lewis has stormed home to the semi-finals with a heat time of 11.15 as heard on Channel 7.
She gets out okay, alongside of her Apcov as well, and getting out fast there was Dode, and now Lewis starts to pick up. Dode going with her, but Tori's going to be impressive. It's 11.15, boy.
Meg Harris has upset Molly O'Callaghan to win gold in the women's 100 metre freestyle at the Com Games. Shayna Jack finishing with bronze as the Aussies swept the podium. And football fever is gripping Australia once more as Chelsea and Tottenham prepare to tackle A-League teams this week. And that's the FIVEAA Sport.
Another FIVEAA forecast.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Showers and 15 today, a shower or two tomorrow, 14. Cloudy on Thursday, also 14. And staying cloudy on Friday, 15. At the moment, 10 on FIVEAA, Ways Adelaide.
Bob here. Hey, look, I just want to let you know that I'm writing my will. I know. I'm not carking it anytime soon, but thought you'd be happy to hear I'm leaving you the boat, mate.
Be like Pop. Write your legal will for free, online and done in minutes at everywill.com.au.
Every will, write your will for free.
These days, $2 doesn't go far, but with the People First Community Lottery, it could. Get your $2 early bird tickets at communitylottery.com.au by midnight July 30 for a chance to win a Toyota Corolla Hybrid. T's and C's apply. 700,000 tickets available. SA Lottery licence number M15015.
The census is coming this August, and we need to hear from people from every walk of life to help plan for Australia's future.
From baristas,
from teachers, from tradies,
from parents,
from people who play sport and people who cheer sport.
In the census, every answer matters. You'll get your instructions soon on what to do. For more information, visit census.abs.gov.au. Authorised by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Canberra.
Here at FIVEAA, we're all about supporting local. Plan your next getaway with the experts at Spark Travel, where every journey begins with a friendly conversation. King William Street in the city or sparktravel.com.au.
When it comes to iconic destinations, nothing beats Adelaide Oval. Now you can experience an overnight escape for two at the Adelaide Oval Hotel, starting from just $399. Retreat to your luxury room overlooking the parklands. Relax with a complimentary bottle of Hentley Farm Shiraz, plus a bonus Hentley Farm Zellador tasting in the Barossa Valley. Savour a decadent three-course dinner at Bespoke Wine Bar and Kitchen with stadium views. Book now and stay iconic at ovalhotel.com.au.
Booking.com is the easiest way from counting down the minutes to flying. where time doesn't matter. Go on. Book that trip. It's easy. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
Well, it worked.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Live from Hindmarsh Square, it's FIVEAA Breakfast. Real goodies with Stacey Lee.
8 after 6, good morning to you. Welcome to Tuesday on FIVEAA Breakfast. The inimitable Angie McBride yesterday as the alerts came through. Mine worked too, Angie. Did yours work, Stacey?
I turned it off.
Oh,
it was nap time.
You dodged the system.
Airplane mode.
You're living off the grid now. I think most people did. Lots of people were a little confused about it yesterday, but mostly it seemed to work. Lots to talk about on the program this morning. Looking forward to this. We're heading to France very shortly. Generally, Australians wouldn't expect to leave Australia and go to Bordeaux and get caught in a bushfire. You would think it generally would happen the other way around. Not in the case of Claire Franks, who's going to be joining us very, very shortly. We're going to get a bit of an explainer about what the trajectory of fuel prices is likely to be, given both the excise changes, the ongoing crisis in the Middle East fuel-wise, but then counterbalancing that, this lower reliance that we spoke about yesterday on fuel that we have in Australia right now. The Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, signed a big deal that goes a ways to ensuring fuel security, not just through this crisis, but crises into the future on the back of a deal signed with Singapore. The Foreign Minister will join us after 7:30 today. There's lots to talk about on that front, and indeed in the world of federal politics. Phil Curry will pick that up after we finish chatting with the Foreign Minister after 7:30 today. We've got a jury trial to conduct. Lots going on around Adelaide as well. Some good local stories that we're going to sink our teeth into. Stacey Lee, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will. How are you?
Yeah, I'm well. Bill Oddie and the Goodies. I just heard it in 5AA News. Did the Goodies, were they ever on your radar? Yeah, I wouldn't have thought.
No, they were a bit before me.
A bit before you, and probably blokier humour.
Maybe.
Oh, so my touch point with the Goodies was it was, and I don't know if I'm dobbing him in for some sort of parenting violation on this, but my earliest memory of watching essentially sketch comedy or set piece comedy on TV was the Goodies. My father showed it to my brother and I. We thought it was unbelievable. We love Bill Oddie. So I've always had at the back of my head is that sort of like ground zero original comedy for me. I was very sad to hear the news overnight that Bill Oddie died. And I had no idea that the second part of his life, he became this big birdwatcher environmentalist guy. And he dedicated his life to environmental causes. And his agent's farewell statement was all about, well, we've lost both a comedian but this wonderful environmentalist and so forth. Got me thinking, though, this morning about the people that make us laugh the most. Or the TV shows that make us laugh the most, the artwork, or the things that make you laugh. What has over the course of your life given you the biggest laugh? 8223 0000. Text us on 0480 1395.
Because I reckon there's enough in the world, in the news cycle every day to bring us down. So let's talk about what lifts us up.
Yeah, let's do it.
I've got a couple of recommendations.
Oh, far away.
Some of my favourites from my childhood. Jim Carrey.
Yes.
Of course. I feel like he is a classic.
Do you have a favourite Jim Carrey film?
It's probably not one that I liked as a kid, but now I like, and it's totally escaped my mind the name of it, but you'll know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
When he is in a TV show of his life.
Oh, yeah, The Truman Show.
The Truman Show, that's it.
Yes.
So Jim Carrey.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
That's a great performance he puts on in that movie.
It's a really good movie.
Yeah, because up to that point he did all the physical comedy sort of slapsticky type stuff, and then he was this kind of tragic figure in the Truman
really
Show.
Sad.
It was, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really depressing.
I like that. 8223 0000. Movies, TV shows, or just comedians that have made you laugh, a la Bill Oddie and the Goodies. I'm going to give this the most contemporary answer I could possibly give to this. Last night we started the third series of Colin from Accounts, the Patrick Bramall and Harriet Dyer show, and I have to, when there's a big gap between series, you really have to convince me that this was a good idea to keep doing.
Yes.
We watched the first one last night and I was in tears on the couch. My wife, we were absolutely in tears. I think that's just brilliant Australian comedy. Just well-written jokes with 50% of it, I think, if you weren't Australian, probably won't make any sense to you whatsoever.
Colin from Accounts is actually quite popular in the US. People really like it.
Is it really? That surprises me because, maybe there's a maybe there's a little bit of a unique kind of nature to it that attracts people because it doesn't feel like any American comedy at all, that program.
That's good because I haven't started the third series yet, but I was a big fan of the first two.
I like this one on the text line. Someone suggested Blackadder.
Yeah.
Which is one of my most brilliantly written comedy programs. A bit like you meant your story with The Truman Show.
The Truman Show.
Suddenly got really poignant at the end with them all going over the top.
But I think my favourite one from my childhood has to be Adam Sandler. Every Adam Sandler movie. This part, though, the most iconic of the most iconic Adam Sandler film, Happy Gilmore.
I wanna kiss you all over and over and again. I wanna kiss you all over. Dun, dun, dun. To the night closes in. To the night closes in.
Now, you know it's iconic because you brought it up and half the studio started singing it. Jess was singing it. I had it. It was, that is fantastic. Yeah.
Any Adam Sandler movie of that era, of the 90s.
Happy Gilmore.
Billy Madison. The one where he adopts the kid.
Little Nicky?
Little Nicky's a funny one where he's the devil but also the angel.
That's right, yes.
But there's one where he adopts a kid.
It'll come to us. Con on the Jim Carrey front has suggested Jim Carrey in The Mask. Thank you, Con. Let's take some calls. Michael in Rostrevor, who's someone who's made you laugh over the journey?
I have to start with the goodies, goody, yum, yum. Take a little good advice. Da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, the interesting. So before I give my answer, the funny thing about that, I think I read, is that the goody guys were also mixed up with Monty Python at Oxford on the stage. How about that?
I was reading about this morning. I think it was Cambridge, but maybe they crossed paths, the two institutions, with regard to that. But
the university staging plays.
Yes.
Very interesting, and it's a shame that we don't have that sort of comedy on TV anymore. I think it ended with the D generation about that vintage, right?
Yeah.
When I suggested it was going to be Gilligan's Island, but I don't know whether that's really a comedy. It's more of a TV. I don't know. But I thought the Gilligan's Island came to mind. And quick one is, at least my American nieces, who are now 20, early 20s now, they grew up with my brother's weird sense of humour, thinking that Gilligan's Island was also funny too. So at least another generation.
No, I think Gilligan's Island's funny.
Yeah.
The relationship between Gilligan and the skipper, and I think it's funny. What is funny these days, if you watch it on a modern television screen, how obvious the sets are, because it was never designed to be watched on, 60 inches and high definition and so forth. Dave in Redwood Park, good morning.
Yeah, you can't go past Fawlty Towers. There's only 12 episodes. You can smash it out in a day, like 30-minute episodes. Unbelievable.
Yeah, Fawlty Towers.
It's hard to argue there's many comedies that have had a greater cultural impact. Fawlty Towers would be, I suspect it'll be the answer to this question in future decades when there's probably no one even alive who was there when it was originally aired. It'll just endure. It has that sort of point. And because we talk about this, and we're speaking about it off air, a lot of comedy ages quickly because it's so of the moment.
Yep.
And how people were talking or reacting to things. Fawlty Towers has seemed to have dodged that.
Yeah.
Because it approaches things like what you are and aren't meant to say.
Yes.
I think I didn't mention the word. I think I got away with it and so forth. Like the whole premise of that is there's a recognition of things you can and can't say, which actually feels really contemporary as a sort
it does actually.
Style of humour. Sue in Mylor, have you got one for us?
Yeah, I have great memories. My dad will be gone 20 years next week, and I have great memories of him and I watching the Paul Hogan show.
Oh, yeah.
We loved it, and, with Leo Wanker and so forth, it was just Luigi, unbelievable, him and Strop. That was sort of classic Aussie comedy. And I have a favourite one from not that far ago called Rake.
I've heard of Rake. I've not seen it.
Yeah, just one of the best written, one of the funniest, more recent shows I've ever seen. I absolutely loved Rake, but Hogs and me and Dad, we were
yeah, it's a nice memory, Sue. Thank you, Sue and Mylor. Dave Lloyd, our Aberdeen correspondent on the text line, says we've lost Bill Oddie early this year, and we lost James Valentine, who introduced the afternoon show on ABC, which had Monkey, The Goodies, Danger Mouse, Roger Ramjet, and you can't do that on TV.
Oh, wow.
That was a rundown. I feel like that feels so familiar, Dave. Ricky Gervais makes me laugh. I prefer the US Office, though. On that, we depart, Dave. He says you can't go past Monty Python.
I think I prefer the US Office too.
No.
I very rarely prefer the US version of anything.
Yeah. So I would rate the UK Office as probably if I had to rate my favourite comedy series of all time, it would be in the top 2.
Really?
Yeah. Nothing. That kind of awkward social humour is a real weak spot for me. Maybe out of relatability. Jeanette says Melissa McCarthy makes me laugh. There is an outtake of Melissa McCarthy just riffing in a scene in a film that I'm not even sure I've seen that goes viral every so often, where they let the camera roll and she's just ad-libbing. It is vulgar, and if you don't have a high tolerance for bad language, you shouldn't watch it. If you do, it's very funny.
I think it was it Bridesmaids?
I'm not sure. She's talking to a school teacher.
Oh,
no, I don't think it is.
No, it's not
I'm not even sure. Paul Rudd's in it because they're all in the scene and they're off camera in tears of laughter. And she's just unleashing this offensive tirade. I can't think what it is. It's very funny, worth checking out. Keep them coming in. Lots of suggestions on the text line, 0480 08 1395, or give us a call, 8223 8888.
You now have more ways to get care, from urgent care clinics and virtual care to immediate mental health support. And if it's an emergency, our emergency departments are always here when you need them. Visit wheretogetcare.sa.gov.au. A message from the Government of South Australia.
Not every conversation stays with you. This one will. Join Stephen Bartlett as he asks the questions and nothing is left unsaid. Search The Diary of a CEO wherever you get your podcasts.
A smashed or damaged windscreen can happen in a heartbeat, but it does get worse if you don't go to your local Complete Windscreens to get it fixed. You could be waiting weeks. And look, that's not on. Complete Windscreens has windscreens and glass for all makes and models in stock right now, with 15 technicians standing by to get you back on the road. You don't need to wait. Tell your insurance company you want Complete Windscreens on the job. CompleteWindscreens.com.au. Look for the big red koala.
Are mum and dad considering retirement living? If they sell the house, what happens to their pension? What are the tax implications? McGain Real Estate have specialist advisors ready to sit down for a chat. Contact McGain today. McGain.com.au.
As a South Aussie-based not-for-profit health insurer, Health Partners isn't just your health partner. We're your tooth-checking partner, hammy-stretching partner, chart-squinting partner. We're your bone-mending, script-filling, arch-lifting, giving, salad-suggesting, generous limit-giving, member-supporting, SA-loving partner. So for great value health cover, there's no better partner in health than Health Partners. Health insurance made human.
Fair to say most of us have a garage, shed or spare room where all the stuff just ends up, usually on a half-finished DIY shelving or buried in those plastic tubs.
Oh, my gosh. And sifting through those plastic tubs when you don't know what's in it, absolute nightmare. It's not just the tools, it's the gardening gear, the sports gear, the Christmas decorations, all the things you want to find without pulling the whole garage apart.
Bill and the team at Sharman Shelving, they come out, measure up, design it properly, then deliver and install a custom storage system that fits your space. It'll look schmick and it will last for years.
And that means everything has its place. Everyone in the house knows where to find it and you can access it without a search party.
Do it once and do it properly, because everyone needs a little Sharman in their life. Take a look on Facebook, Instagram or visit sharmanshelving.com.au to see what Bill and the team can create for you.
There's one hybrid with an engine so smooth you could play a vinyl record on top of it. In fact, that's what you're listening to right now. This record is being played smoothly on top of a Honda CR-V without skipping a beat. And if you think that's smooth, visit Formula Honda now and make the Honda CR-V yours from just $49,900 with 5 years free servicing. The new Honda Hybrid CR-V from Formula Honda. Smooth sailing. T's and C's apply.
Barbara Streisand. Her music and life come alive in The Way We Were. Starring award-winning singer-songwriter, performer and storyteller Melinda Schneider. Melinda brings to life hits like You Don't Bring Me Flowers, Evergreen, Woman in Love and many more. Saturday, August 8 at Her Majesty's Theatre. For tickets, go to thewaywewere.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
22 after 6, getting some terrific texts through and indeed some calls on people and shows and things that have made you laugh over the years because of we're marking the passing of the great Bill Oddie from Goodies fame, who died overnight by nominating our favourite funny things. Neil in Seaford Park is on the line. Morning to you, Neil.
How you going there? A couple that from way back.
Far away, Neil.
We used to watch it as kids. One was called Love Thy Neighbour.
Yes.
And involved a black couple who lived next to a white couple in London. And another one was called Mind Your Language, and that was a guy who was teaching adult English classes over in London.
Oh, I haven't seen Mind Your Language. That's a new one for me, Neil. Good stuff. Thank you.
Yep.
Good on you, Neil. Neil in Seaford Park. There's lots of more people that want to have their say on this, so we're going to get to some more calls and texts very, very shortly. But we wanted to head over to France because our next guest, Claire Franks, is in Bordeaux, where if you've been watching news services over the course of the last few days, you'll note incredible wildfires raging throughout southern parts of Europe, so a bit of Spain. Certainly France has been affected as well, and there's some real concerns about what is one of the world's most recognisable and well-regarded wine regions. Claire, good morning to you.
Good morning. Hi, how you doing?
Yeah, well, we're okay, Claire. More importantly, how are you? We were just remarking at the start of the program, Australians typically would imagine that the greatest bushfire risk is going to be in Australia, but unfortunately, it's followed you to France.
Yes. Yeah, actually, a few Australian friends over here and I have been talking about that. I'm actually an Adelaide girl myself, but spent the last 15 years before I moved over here in Melbourne, and I actually worked on the bushfires findings from 2009. So I thought I had left that all behind me. But unfortunately not. It's pretty terrible. It's not the first time they've had wildfires in that region. It was only about 4 years ago, or maybe 5, that they had some pretty big fires in that same forest area. But yeah, I suspect that they weren't really expecting it to be happening again quite so soon. But unfortunately, the wind turned and started off out that way, right near the coast, and it was just in the Cap-Ferret area, and then the winds changed and it came inwards towards the city, and it just sort of went straight through those huge pine plantation forests, and has made its way almost to the borders of Bordeaux, unfortunately.
So what's it been like for you, Claire? What are you doing in Bordeaux? Are you travelling, or are you living there at the moment?
No,
and have you had to flee?
We've been living here. We've been living here for about 3 years now. We have been bunkered down in our house for the last 3 days. The air quality's been pretty bad. Friday evening, we went and stood outside because we saw the sky was getting a bit red and a bit smoky looking, and we actually thought that there was a fire here where we are. So we're actually on the east side in a region called the Rive-Droite, and it's just kind of on the edge of the river there, the main river that runs through Bordeaux. But we're on the far side, away from all of the fires, thankfully. Everything that's burning is in the west, but so we thought there was a fire here. Thankfully there was not. One of our lovely neighbours called and said that she'd just spoken to emergency services, and it was the wind had just brought the smoke from the wildfire, through to Bordeaux. So the air quality's been pretty bad here since then.
I confess my ignorance, Claire. I know of Bordeaux, but I know very little about Bordeaux beyond there's beautiful wines that come from that region. Just playing on your Adelaide knowledge, would this be the equivalent of a fire in the Barossa or McLaren Vale? Is there anything similar?
Probably similar to the McLaren Vale, just because it's quite close to the beach here. But it's and I guess there are sort of those regions down that way that have some big pine plantations as well. Out at like Macclesfield and stuff, I think it is. Down that way. It is a bit similar to that. It's a really beautiful beach area. Basically, it's about 40 minutes out of Bordeaux by car, and it's an area that pretty much all the Bordelais will go for their summer breaks. So a lot of them have little summer houses down on Cap Ferret and Arcachon and Biscarrosse, and definitely a lot of tourists head down there for summer. There's a lot of oyster farms and stuff like that down there. So it's a really big tourist spot.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, so it's kind of, it's a really, really beautiful area. It's actually quite close to the Medoc. If you're a Bordeaux wine lover, you might know the Medoc region, Margaux and places like that. Those are a bit further north, so hopefully the wines won't be too badly affected.
Yeah.
But
hopefully they can get it under control and everyone can be safe. Hey, Claire, you look after yourself, and thank you so much for talking to us.
Oh, pleasure. No, absolutely happy to do so. Cheers.
Remarkable. Claire Franks in Bordeaux, not only someone who knows South Australia, but someone who knows fires all too well, having worked on the bushfires in Victoria of 2009. That's unbelievable.
And great comparison there of McLaren Vale.
Yeah.
She was saying there's beach regions and wine regions.
I couldn't picture that. I've never been to Bordeaux. I wouldn't have a clue what it looks like. That was terrific. Thank you, Claire. All right, let's take some comedy calls. John in Colonel Light Gardens, what makes you laugh?
Yeah, MASH, Get Smart, in a film called Arthur. Quick quote was from MASH. Frank, who's a bit of a clown, says to Hawkeye, "Why do people take an instant dislike to me?" Hawkeye says, "Saves time, Frank."
Thank you, John. The thing I like about MASH is I love those brilliant comedies where it can be both poignant and really funny. MASH got really deep at times, and MASH was really heavy on occasion, but then would be very funny with one-liners like John's. Thank you, John. Let's go to Frank in Birkenhead. What makes you laugh, Frank?
Good morning, Will and Stacey. See if you can think of this classic TV English series. I'll give you the start of it just quickly. Who do you think you're kidding, Mr. Hitler? If you think all in England's done, Dad's Army.
Dad's Army. Thank you, Frank. I confess from your rendition I wasn't getting it, but Dad's Army, yes, thank you. Keep them coming in. There's lots of suggestions coming through. Tom Red's having a chuckle. Tommy always gives us a smile each and every morning. Let's talk sport. For security, safety and style made to order, choose Glider or Garage Doors, glideroil.com.au. Morning, Rennie.
Morning, Will. Morning, Stacey. Look, a couple of footy things. State of Origin obviously broke this time yesterday. Going through the sort of players that SA will have at their disposal next year. It's a pretty decent side. The midfield in particular, it's pretty red hot, isn't it?
I think actually South Australia will stack up okay. I was interested with the response of Crows and Port fans yesterday, who was sort of saying, nice idea, but our club's having to put up 6-7 guys each.
Yeah, and this is the issue, isn't it? And it's probably why it started to struggle in the late 90s and why people didn't want it was because people will say, well, if you're going to take our players and then they get injured like Calamachi did in the pre-season in the State of Origin game for WA, how much is that affecting the club team? So I think people have to park that if it's going to succeed.
Yes, absolutely. I think enough will. It'll be popular.
So. Yeah, and it's like Graham Corns, I heard him speak yesterday in AA saying, it's not going to, it could tarnish the memory. And he's right, it's not going to be the same level what it was, but it has to start somewhere if they're going to try it. So we'll see where it goes. Ty Gallop tonight, of course, he's been sent straight to the tribunal. It'll be really interesting to see how many weeks he gets. I think it'll land around the 2 to 3 mark, I think.
You called 2 yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, I think it'll be about that, but it's hard to know with the tribunal. And one player, Will, I remember speaking to you about him a little bit earlier this year, Darcy Wilson. I said the Crows should be into him. I think they were, but he's re-signed at St Kilda, so they've missed one there, but good on him for staying where he is.
Zach Bailey's still a live question too, isn't he?
He is, yeah. So we'll see. They need someone, don't they?
Yeah.
Tom Sparrow's the other one that we think Port are pretty heavily into. He's really upped his game at another level. So it's all going to start to ramp up now, that silly season, as we get towards the end of the actual season. It then turns into who do we target for next year.
Got a favourite comedy, Rennie?
I reckon Seinfeld in terms of sitcom. Yeah, I just always find myself laughing with that.
Yeah,
it's so real.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like it, I know, but I think it's great. I think it's very, very funny.
Yeah, we'll take that. Good on you, Rennie.
Good on you. Thanks, guys.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 6:30 news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brattig.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
A search will resume this morning, weather permitting, for a missing baby in the state's southeast. Police were called to an area near Port Macdonald, 20 k's from Mount Gambier, just after 11 yesterday morning, after a car was found running at the top of a cliff. The body of a 36-year-old woman and a toddler were found in the water. A baby remains missing. Madison Stanley from 7 News says the circumstances remain unclear.
Police haven't exactly confirmed the exact circumstances, but it is believed that this woman fell from the cliff and as her child as well. But that will all come out in the investigation, and they are preparing a report for the coroner.
The federal government has announced plans to build Australia's first new oil refinery since the 1960s. Labor will commit $4 million towards a feasibility study into constructing a refinery in WA. The government says it would help reduce our reliance on foreign fuel imports, which has been exposed by the Middle East conflict. A Productivity Commission report has found Australian governments need to cut red tape in order to solve the housing crisis. The interim report argues over-regulation adds up to $320,000 to the cost of a new home. Commissioner Alison Roberts says complex zoning laws can slow the planning process before a build even gets underway.
In Brisbane, Sydney, Perth and Adelaide, at least 75% of residential land is zoned for just 1 or 2 stories. So that obviously limits the amount of dwellings that can be built. And in Sydney, 50% of the land across 50 suburbs is covered by restricted heritage overlay.
Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen says she'll stare down demands to resign and force a 6-week leadership campaign. A delegation of Labor colleagues has told her she's lost the majority supportive caucus. Her deputy, Ben Carroll, says he'll put up his hand to become the next new leader. French President Emmanuel Macron has promised to commit every available resource to fight raging wildfires, saying the crisis is the most severe to face France since the Second World War. On a visit to the worst-hit region around Bordeaux, Mr Macron said France would draw lessons, including on the need to replant a different kind of forest due to changes brought about by climate change.
We will win this battle together. We'll commit every possible resource, adapt to changing needs and continue to innovate alongside you to win that battle.
And that translation thanks to the BBC, while firefighters in Spain have also been battling to contain some of the worst fires in recent history amid warnings of an intensifying heat wave which could make the situation worse. Temperatures in parts of the country are forecast to reach 40 degrees this week. And another member of the Goodies, Bill Oddie, has passed away.
Right now, listeners, we continue on Radio Goodies with music all the way, with the up-to-the-minute sound of, with the right up-to-the-minute sound of A Walk in the Black Forest.
In later years, the comedian became a respected wildlife presenter. He was 85. Turning to 5AA Sport.
For security, safety and style made to order, choose Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Much interest in the tribunal tonight with Brisbane defender Ty Gallop to front up after his incident with Port's Mitch Georgiades at the Gabba. That was during the second quarter of the Lions' 59-point win over the Power. Adelaide defender James Borlase admits he's feeling more confident meantime after locking down a spot in defence. The 24-year-old has been rock solid and has played 12 consecutive games. And he's told Rowan and Timmy G training with the forwards has been a huge help.
Yeah, getting to play on Filthy, Fog and Tex at training, I'm grateful that I get to play on them. They're some of the best forwards in the league. So if I can play on them, I can just about take on anyone. So, I think that's what's helped me keep playing at the level.
The Crows will train at West Lakes this morning, while Port Adelaide's players will also train at Alberton just after 10 a.m. as they prepare for Saturday night's clash against GWS at home. Well, a boil over in the pool this morning at the Commonwealth Games. Meg Harris taking gold over Molly O'Callaghan in the women's 100-metre freestyle. Shayna Jack clinched bronze to ensure another Aussie podium sweep. Gymnast Kay McDonald has won gold as the Aussie medal rush continues for the Aussies at the Games. The Aussie team now has 44 medals, including 19 gold. Bo Matthews and Tim Hodge claimed gold and bronze in the 100-metre breaststroke S9. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Showers and 15 today, a shower or two tomorrow, 14, cloudy on Thursday, also 14 and staying cloudy on Friday, 15. At the moment, 10 on 5AA, Aways Adelaide.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech guy Richard Pascoe, thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Thinking it might be time for a new phone? Maybe something that flips or folds. Pre-order the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 8, Z Fold 8 or Z Fold 8 Ultra at Harvey Norman and you'll receive a bonus $300 Harvey Norman gift card. Flip phones and fold phones are becoming very popular. Plus, pre-order the Galaxy Watch 9 or Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 and receive up to $250 in bonus gift cards. New phone, new watch, bonus gift cards. Sounds good to me. Hurry, the Samsung Galaxy Z Series gift card offer ends August 13th. The new Samsung Galaxy Z Series and Samsung Watch 9 series now at Harvey Norman. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
These days, $2 doesn't go far, but with the People First Community Lottery, it could. Get your $2 early bird tickets at communitylottery.com.au by midnight July 30 for a chance to win a Toyota Corolla Hybrid. T's and C's apply. 700,000 tickets available. SA Lottery licence number M15015.
You've worked hard, raised families, built a life. Now it's your time. At Living Choice Flagstaff Hill Retirement Village, wellness and comfort aren't extras. They're every day. Retirement is your time to focus on living well by taking advantage of the magnesium pool, staying active in the gym, or unwinding in the cinema with friends. Here, luxury living meets lasting well-being with beautiful move-in ready apartments waiting for you. Discover the retirement you deserve. Book your tour today at livingchoice.com.au.
Australia's favourite country rock band, the Wolf Brothers, are in South Australia this weekend on their Australian-made tour. With 15 golden guitars, 5 #1 albums and 20 #1 singles, the Wolf Brothers are known for delivering the most exciting live show in Australian country music. Catch the Wolf Brothers this Friday at the Gov in Adelaide and this Saturday at the Barossa Arts Centre in Tanunda. Special guest is the amazing Taylor Moss. Book your seats now on thewolfbrothers.com.
Mawson Lakes Volkswagen has a problem. Too many Volkswagens, not enough space. Yep, they're overstocked, and that's very good news for you because every demo is priced to clear, like right now. Their solution? A huge demo clearance with hot prices. But that's not all. They're offering immediate delivery and finance so easy, you'll wonder why you didn't do this sooner. But don't wait. These demo Volkswagens won't sit around for long. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
Do you need legal help right now? At Anderson Solicitors, we put people first. Expert legal advice when and where it's needed. Trusted by South Australians for over 50 years with 6 locations. Anderson Solicitors. Help when you need it.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
20 to 7, as you've heard in 5AA News, Bill Oddie passed of Goodies fame, and we're talking about our favourite comedians or funny things over the course of our lifetime. So many texts going through. We apologise to all those we're not going to be able to get to. But there are some callers as well on the line, like Neil from North Haven. Morning, Neil.
Well,
Who makes you laugh, Neil?
Mr. Bean.
Oh, Mr. Bean. How have we got this far without mentioning Rowan Atkinson and Mr. Bean?
So funny.
Well, so Rowan Atkinson, I think, becomes the first person to have multiple shows mentioned. Blackadder.
Oh, yeah.
And Mr. Bean. A few people have mentioned Ricky Gervais, who's had lots of shows, but by name, that's Rowan Atkinson with 2 that have really impacted our audience.
Yep, that's true. We've got some great suggestions coming in. This one, hilarious scene in Mind Your Language, where the teacher mistakes the education inspector as a new student. That's from Con. Steve Martin.
Yes.
Someone suggested Steve Martin, the jerk.
Yep, David's favourite, that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Lots of suggestions for Kingswood Country.
Kingswood Country probably holds the unique position of being entirely unbroadcastable. I don't think we could pick out one element of it that would, in this day and age that we could possibly. No, I don't think there's any of it's left. It's quite an achievement.
And Rennie said Seinfeld. Dion on the text line, similar. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh, Larry David, what a genius!
Good.
That is brilliant. Curb Your Enthusiasm.
So funny.
That, if you haven't seen it and you like Seinfeld, you've got about 8 seasons worth of laughs coming your way. You have to find a way to watch it. Yeah. Keep them coming in, 8223 or text us on 0448 08 1395. Let's talk petrol. We will talk about this from the perspective of international agreement and how we've shored up supply with the Foreign Minister Penny Wong a little bit later, but we wanted to do a bit of a forecast of how this is going to affect you filling up your car with energy analyst Kevin Morrison, who joins us now. Kevin, good morning to you.
Good morning, Will.
So, Kevin, a few things have changed since, and some haven't, since we last spoke. The situation in the Middle East is very unclear still about what's happening there. We've got an excise that's about to expire, and we've got some behaviours in Australia that seem to have changed in terms of our top-line fuel consumption. The sum of all that is what, do you think? Are we going to see dramatic price volatility at the Bowser over the second half of this year?
I think, yes, there definitely will be volatility because you've got sort of some good things happening and you've also got some bad things happening. And so both of those are tussling with each other. So that's why we're going to continue to see, prices move. So in the short term, I mean, we've just sort of seen the Brent crude price fall overnight because the US and Iran seem to be in talks, and Trump is saying some positive things about that. But when you listen to the Iranians, they're saying something quite different. So we never quite know what the outcome of that is going to be. The other sort of positive thing is all that crude that was locked up in the Strait of Hormuz when it was shut earlier this year is now being discharged into countries across Asia. So it's going to be refined and then it's going to be sent to Australia. So we should start to see through August more arrivals of imports. So that's good news. But if there is no resolution with these talks, and we have further curtailment of any maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz and also through the Red Sea now, we're back to a very, very tight markets.
Kevin, is petrol price at the Bowser always determined on the barrel price? Or like Will pointed out, if we're consuming less petrol, and you mentioned we've got those deals with some Asian countries to get more petrol into the country and there's an oversupply, can prices come down without the barrel price coming down?
Not really, no. I mean, we in Australia, because we import 90% of what we consume every day, so we really are exposed to international prices. Although we talk about the Brent price, but that's actually a more important price is diesel, because I know we've been talking about petrol, but actually diesel is more important because more than 50% of what we consume every day in fuel is diesel, and we import most of that as well. So we're very exposed to the international diesel price, and that is actually trading at over $140 a barrel. So I know we're talking about the Brent price, which is now down to below 90, but the real price that what Australians will be paying is that diesel price of over $140 a barrel. So, and that's why we've seen diesel prices remain very high, whereas we've seen falls in petrol prices.
One notable shift from this conversation today we're having, Kevin, to one we might have had at the outset of this conflict was, I imagine, a lot of our conversation would have been around our strategic fuel reserve and the risk of not it being expensive, but actually entirely running out. What do you think we've learned about the resilience of fuel reserves and the manner in which a country like Australia can work the angles with deals with countries like Singapore to shore up supply?
Yeah, look, I think in this period, I mean, Australia has done very well. When you look at the level of imports, it's more or less been consistent. So it hasn't dropped off, even though the production of oil has dropped. And so that's been a good thing. And as you say, because all these bilateral deals that we've done, so that's all been a positive thing. But just looking the longer term, I mean, we haven't invested enough in storage, and we've really got to address that. I know the the government likes to say, well, look, we've increased diesel stockpiles, but when we sort of step back, the main level we should be looking at is what the International Energy Agency require. They want us to have 90 days, and we're still only around 50 days. So we've got a lot more to do in that regard, given that we are so dependent on imports. Wouldn't be so much of an issue if we produce more of our own oil. And even on that matter, we don't have that much commercial oil reserves left in the ground. I mean, we've got plenty of gas, we've got plenty of coal, we've got plenty of iron ore, we've got plenty of everything, but we just don't have that much oil.
Just on that point, Kevin, to what we can do in Australia to secure our own supply, I note the Fin Review is reporting this morning that the Prime Minister is set to spend $4 million on a feasibility study into building potentially our first new oil refinery in 60 years. So refining's obviously a part of it. Getting the crude here, though, is still a barrier, is it not? How much do we benefit from a refinery being built here?
Well, I mean, you've just almost answered your own question. I mean, we're still going to be dependent on imports.
Yeah.
I mean, all very well saying we've got refineries where we actually produce, but we're actually still relying on importing foreign oil, because simply, the oil that we're producing is less and less. I mean, I think now we're on track to our actual own oil production is at 50-year lows. It's just been trending downwards for the last 20 years. Since the turn of the century. Back in the year 2000, we were almost self-sufficient, but it's just been going one way downwards ever since then. And that's why, we're much more exposed to international markets, and that's why I feel we should be investing more in storage. But also, we've also seen a reaction by consumers. They've just been buying electric vehicles. In fact, I was just reading yesterday that we've bought more electric vehicles in the first half of this year than we did for the whole of last year.
Yeah, it's remarkable how quickly behaviour has changed. Kevin, that was fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. Our energy analyst from the IEEFA, Kevin Morrison. It's 12 to 7. Let's check in on the weather for this Tuesday. Ursula Connor at the Weather Bureau is on the line. Ursula, what kind of Tuesday do we have ahead?
Hi, Will. Well, we're starting the day off pretty mild again. We're still currently in this northerly flow, so hanging around 10 degrees in terms of the temperature in the CBD at the moment. We are going to see some showers, though, move through in the next couple of hours. We're going to have the leading edge of a cold front just making its way across the city there. So a couple millimetres on the forecast for today, and then a bit of a gusty, cool southwesterly change through behind that front, so through the back part of the day. So only getting up to a top of 15 in Adelaide today, 13 for Mount Barker, and similar temperatures around the metro area.
All right, thank you, Ursula. Ursula Connor at the Weather Bureau. Let's head to SAPOL. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad is on the line. Kimberly, this awful story at Port Macdonald, the search resumes this morning for a baby.
That's right, absolutely tragic circumstances. It was 11:15 yesterday morning that emergency services were initially called to an area of coastline just west of Port Macdonald on the Limestone Coast after a vehicle was located abandoned with its engine running. And after some subsequent inquiries, we've tragically located the body of a woman and her toddler in the ocean. She's been identified as a 36-year-old woman from Compton, and so police will be recommencing the search for a second infant who remains missing, and that will commence at first light this morning. We've got officers from our Water Operations Unit as well as CFS officers and volunteers from the SES to assist us with that search. We're also seeking information from anyone who may have seen the woman's car or has any dash cam footage of her car. That's a white 2015 Isuzu MUX. Registration is Sierra 592 Bravo Juliet Romeo. Anyone with any information whatsoever, if they could give us a call on the Crime Stoppers number 1800 333 000.
Just so sad, Kimberly. Take us to Ridgehaven now, where a man's been arrested in a stolen car.
Yeah, so we originally had police cordoning off an area. We were looking for a unrelated stolen car. It was early this morning, just before 1 a.m. whilst we were looking for that second stolen car, another silver SUV with no registration plates was driving through the cordon and actually headed into a nearby fast food outlet through the drive-through on the Golden Grove Road at Ridgehaven. So police vehicles have then turned their attention to that car, blocked it in, but that driver's tried to escape by driving across the garden and ended up colliding with a light pole and also a police vehicle. So that driver's been arrested, a 37-year-old man from Morfettville. He's been charged with illegal use, driving unlicensed and in a manner dangerous. He's been refused bail to appear in the Elizabeth Court later today.
Oh, that is remarkable. Thank you, Kimberly. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad there from SAPOL.
We're talking about comedy skits. That sounds like
that's
something
right.
from a
Yeah,
comedy
that's a bit of physical comedy. 8 to 7. Let's check traffic. We'll come back with more in just a moment. Foodland with more stores close to home and everyday low prices. Great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Thanks, Will. And morning, Stacey. At Dudley Park, it smashed us in this morning. It's on the north-south motorway near Regency Road, seeing delays inbound at the moment. At Hove, previous crashes closed Brighton Road outbound at Dunrobin Road. Waterbury Heights, traffic lights out due to a blackout. McIntyre Road near Milne Road. And at Chips Cross, you'll find urgent works this morning. Green Junction Road near Main North Road. That will be slow for the drive-in. Early morning, Camera, Harris Road at Vale Park. Do you believe that happiness matters to seriously ill children? Sign up to Starlight to make a monthly donation and bring happiness when it's needed most. Starlight.org.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic. On 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
Whether you choose efficient petrol or Chery super hybrid technology, there's a Chery to suit your needs. Visit your local Chery dealer today for a great deal. Chery, for the road ahead. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Booking.com is the easiest way from a gridlock to the freedom of a car that takes you far, far away from it. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
A mum and dad considering retirement living? If they sell the house, what happens to their pension? What are the tax implications? McGain Real Estate have specialist advisors ready to sit down for a chat. Contact McGain today. McGain.com.au.
When you're gone, who gets the things that tell your story? Like the classic car you've kept immaculate, the beach shack filled with family memories, or the record collection from your youth. If you don't plan now, it could get messy. Donlan Lawyers specialise in wills and estate planning. From the simplest to the most complex, Donlan Lawyers will give effect to your wishes. For wills and estate planning, visit donlanlawyers.com. Hindmarsh Square, Adelaide and Ocean Street, Victor Harbour.
Bowel cancer waits for no one. It doesn't care if you're busy. It just continues growing. Bowel cancer takes more lives than breast, prostate or skin cancer. You can have it and have no symptoms. If you're aged 45 to 74, join the millions who've done the test. Because if found early, more than 90% of cases can be successfully treated. Bowel cancer waits for no one. Don't wait. Test now. It's free and easy to do at home. Search free bowel test.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
5 to 7. Paddy just came in the studio and showed us a picture of a remarkable life-saving device, an AED, which stands for...
Automated External Defibrillator.
Thank you, Stacey. Which is a defibrillator, but they're the size of a Coke can, essentially. Remarkable. So it fits in your pocket. Great news for our next guest, and John Ambulance SA CEO Steve Morris. Steve, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
How big were these? How big was a defibrillator when you first started?
Oh, much bigger than this one, about 4 times the size when they first came out. The ones that everybody will see on buildings, on walls in South Australia.
And functionally, is this exactly the same?
Yeah, it'll deliver the same shock. So, I mean, I think what's really important to kind of understand is that these things could save a life. They're a game changer in terms of defibrillators because a cardiac arrest doesn't wait for the right place. So to have a portable AED is a real game changer in terms of the ability to save lives. Because 30,000 people experience cardiac arrest in Australia per year, and your survival chances go down 10% for every minute of delay. So to have a defibrillator right next to you, which is as effective as the bigger device on the wall, is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and I've noticed a huge increase in the number of the defibrillators on the walls since the rollout. It was mandated in some public places, and it just I'm so much more aware of it now. If I'm walking past one in a shopping centre, I just always go, okay, mental check.
Yeah.
That's there.
That's right. And I think our key message is for people not to be scared to use them. You don't need to be qualified to use an AED and a portable AED because it'll only provide a shock if it's needed. So some people I think are a bit kind of anxious about using them, but our advice is, don't be anxious. You can't cause any harm. The worst thing to do is to do nothing.
And those ones on the walls in shopping centres and community centres, as you mentioned, anyone can use it. They've got instructions on them. I imagine the pocket ones have the same type of instruction.
Yeah, it's the same. It kind of, as soon as you switch it on, there's a kind of voice it informs you what to do. So you can't do anything wrong. You just follow the instructions. And I said it'll only give a shock if it detects a rhythm that's shockable. So you can't do any harm. The worst thing to do is to do nothing.
Wow, I had no idea that they only worked if required, as opposed to, that sort of traditional, rub the paddles together and someone yells clear and, then you give it a jolt.
Yeah, it's completely different to that. So it basically detects a rhythm. If that rhythm is what we call shockable, then it delivers a shock. If it's not, then it won't deliver a shock.
Do you think, given the portability of this device now, that we're going to get to a point where anyone who is susceptible or has a history of heart disease or concerns might carry these around on them?
Yeah, that's what we're hoping. Well, we think they're complementary to kind of the ones that you see fixed on a wall. But certainly if you're travelling in a rural, remote area, then, as I said before, any delay decreases your survival. So I think we'll get to a stage where people are starting to carry them around in glove boxes, in backpacks, so that, there's access when you need them.
So where can people buy them?
It's from St John directly. We launched this a few weeks ago. Just go to our website. So if you Google St John, you find our website and you can buy them through that website.
Yeah, great.
What do they cost?
They do cost nearly $2,000.
Yeah.
So look, they're not for everybody, but we think, particularly those people at risk or people in sporting clubs or communities, I think they're an ideal thing to carry around. In fact, recently I've just come back from Kangaroo Island on a holiday, and if you think of some of those places when you're travelling around Kangaroo Island, having access to something like a pocket AED gives that reassurance that, should something happen, somebody, either a friend, a fellow traveller, has a cardiac arrest, you can actually do something to help save their life.
Yeah, it's only expensive if you completely divorce it from the circumstance in which you'd use it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's right, yes.
Yeah, we're talking about heart attacks and potentially saving lives. So remarkable piece of technology. Thanks for explaining it to us, Steve. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
That's Steve Morris, the CEO of St John Ambulance in SA.
And I have noticed those ones in shopping centres and communities.
See them
There's
everywhere.
So many more of them now, and we have two people to thank for that. Frank Pangello, former independent MP who introduced the legislation, and Greg the Yellow Wiggle.
Of course,
who did the national
he
campaign.
Himself had a heart attack, didn't he?
Yeah, on stage, I'm pretty sure. And since then, he's been campaigning to get rollouts of AEDs in public shopping centres and public places.
It's a remarkable journey the defibrillator has had through the lives of very high-profile Australians. Obviously, the Packer Whackers originally in the back of ambulances. Kerry Packer was in that situation. Yeah, through to Frank Pangello and the Yellow Wiggle. 5AA news time. We're going to take a quick break. After 7 o'clock on the show this morning, we're going to be talking bird flu. 7 new suspected cases yesterday, potentially a cluster, and the calls for homing of fowl and poultry. What does that mean? We'll explain it after 7 o'clock. And then after 7:30, the Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, will join us on 5AA Breakfast.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
The latest local, national and international news for South Australia. This is 5AA News, always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 7 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brattig.
Need a crash repairer you can trust? FIVEAA Panel Services delivers expert care to you and your vehicle.
Investigations are continuing into the tragic death of a mother and toddler off Port Macdonald on the Limestone Coast yesterday. Her abandoned car was found at the top of a cliff with its engine still running before her body and her daughter was spotted floating in the ocean. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says a baby is still missing.
And that will commence at first light this morning. We've got officers from our Water Operations Unit as well as CFS officers and volunteers from the SES to assist us with that search.
Plans are underway for the construction of Australia's first new oil refinery since the 1960s. Nelson Scott has details.
The Iran war has exposed Australia's vulnerability to fuel supply chain disruptions, with just 2 operating refineries left in the country. The federal government will commit $4 million towards a feasibility study into constructing a new refinery in Western Australia built by industrial manufacturing group Perdaman. Labor claims the facility will help boost energy security by making us less reliant on imported fuel and fertiliser. The move comes as Treasury predicts inflation could reach as high as 7% this year if supply chain disruptions continue in the Middle East.
It could be Jacinta Allen's final day as Victorian Premier. A spill today could see her deputy Ben Carroll installed as the new leader, but the Premier says she's not going anywhere, and under Labor rules, if the leadership is contested, both have to stand down from their roles and an acting Premier is appointed. Victorians will go to the polls in November. Fires in southwestern France are continuing to close in on the city of Bordeaux. More than 300,000 people have been told to leave their homes in France and neighbouring Spain. More from the BBC's Glenn Loader on the outskirts of Bordeaux.
Just an hour ago, huge flames licking the air, rising several feet into the air here. We've since seen aircraft from Canada being used. There's a helicopter which is directing then an aeroplane from Canada which has been dropping bright red fire retardant on this area. An hour or so ago, the fire crews here were fearful that the fire could burn out of control. They do seem to have got it under some control now.
Singer-songwriter Carly Simon has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The 83-year-old You're So Vain singer says she's learning how to live with the condition. She's also undergone surgery to remove a cancerous growth on her face. And British actor, comedian and broadcaster Bill Oddie has died at the age of 85. He was best known to Australian audiences as a member of the 1970s comedy trio The Goodies. Oddie is survived by his wife and 3 daughters. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, over 50 years strong. All colours, all styles, all street appeal. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. A boil over in the pool at the Commonwealth Games with Meg Harris edging out Molly O'Callaghan as the Aussies went 1-2-3 in the 100 metres freestyle. Harris telling Channel 7 she can't really believe it.
I mean, it's always fun. Well, always. I've never done this before. But I knew I had to go out hard. Molly always mows me down, so I was hoping just once I'd be able to hold her off.
Shayna Jack coming in third. Gymnast Kate McDonald has won gold for Australia on the uneven bars, while on the track, Rose Davies has become Australia's first gold medalist in the 10,000 metres. It means the Aussies now have a staggering 59 medals already, including 26 gold. England is the next best with 32 medals, 8 of them are gold. Let's go to football, and it's set to be a big day of training locally for the Crows and Port Adelaide. Adelaide will be keeping a close eye on midfielder James Peatling after he suffered some soreness in the loss against Collingwood, while the Power have no fresh injury concerns but aren't likely to regain anyone for this Saturday night's clash against GWS at home. Jack Lukosius is an outside chance to return from a Baker's cyst in his calf, but Joe Richards and Zach Butters are still considered a few weeks away. Well, Max King, meantime, has been left devastated after a fresh hamstring injury ruled him out for the rest of the season. Better news, though, for teammate Darcy Wilson, the midfielder signing a contract extension, keeping him at Moorabbin until at least the end of 2028. And in some Major League Baseball news, Australian infielder Curtis Mead has been traded from the Washington Nationals to the Boston Red Sox. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Thanks, Tom. Now to the traffic.
Morning there at Croydon Park. A smash on the north-south motorway near Regency Road, seeing really big delays inbound at the moment. At Hove, a previous crash has closed Brighton Road outbound at Dunrobin Road, and Modbury Heights traffic lights out due to a blackout McIntyre Road near Milne Road. Speed camera this morning to look out for Harris Road at Vale Park. Power up Android at Telstra. Discover great deals on the latest Android phones on Australia's best mobile network. Visit Telstra today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
To the weather, showers and 15. Tomorrow a shower or two, 14. Cloudy on Thursday, also 14. And staying cloudy on Friday, 15. At the moment, 10 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Setting the agenda for South Australia. This is 5AA. Always Adelaide.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
Six minutes after 7. Good morning to you if you're joining us for the first time on a dark sort of Tuesday morning.
Really dark out there.
It is dark out there, isn't it? It looks quite overcast. It is cool, and there is going to be some rain on the way, as you just heard in 5AA News a moment ago. This is probably the wet day of the week, as we just heard from the Weather Bureau a short time ago. So stay in, put the kettle on. Lots to talk about over the course of this hour. Phil Curry's going to join us in the nation's capital. Immediately before Phil, the Foreign Minister Penny Wong will join us. She signed a big deal with Singapore that follows on from a conversation we had in the first hour about enshrining fuel supply, essentially, and saying, so we're going to be able to go to the Bowser. What we pay, it might be extraordinary as of next week, but you are going to get fuel. That's what the government's promise is as by way of this. But there's lots happening in the federal sphere at the moment that we'll ask the federal minister about. We're going to trial by jury before 8 o'clock. And we're going to talk school speed zones after 8 o'clock today. There is a plea for action at one school in our south where there has been an incident, and it feels pretty valid to me, but you be the judge after 8 o'clock. 8223 We've also been talking about comedy, and my God, don't we need it? And I hate to start this hour with this, but there are no words to adequately encapsulate or describe or even try to go any ways to understanding what happened at Port Macdonald. We know we spoke with Sapol a moment ago. There is still a search ongoing for a baby there. All we know is, and this is the language that's being released to us, that a mother fell to her death with a toddler at Port Macdonald. Have a listen to Madison Stanley on 7 News last night.
Police haven't exactly confirmed the exact circumstances, but it is believed that this woman fell from the cliff and as her child as well. But that will all come out in the investigation, and they are preparing a report for the coroner. A
car was found on Cape Northumberland Road at 11:15 a.m. and I'm comforted whenever you bring up this story to people. The language labours because no one knows how to talk about this.
Yeah.
No one. It's a blessing that you don't understand how or why this could happen.
Yeah,
because it means you haven't been touched by it, and maybe everyone who hasn't shouldn't rush to. I don't know. I find it so hard to talk about. It's an unimaginable, bloody, awful story.
It feels so easy to jump to conclusions and blame in situations like this, but when you know so little about what's played out and what's played out privately and personally as well, and particularly in regional communities, I feel like regional communities really do are hit harder with situations like this. There's when they occur. Support. Less support. It's a smaller community, so often everybody knows the families involved. Maybe people know what's happened behind the scenes, maybe people don't. But it particularly hits our communities hard here in South Australia, and unfortunately, this is a story that we'll continue to talk about.
Yeah, it's just bloody awful. On the petrol front, I thought this was really interesting last night because I didn't think anyone was heading this way, but maybe they are. Peter Curry from the NRMA said, don't go and start panic buying again.
The averages are still sitting relatively tight to the wholesale price, which is really good because the gap between the wholesale and the retail price has been tight now for some time, which shows that the oil companies have been doing the right thing. So please don't panic buy. And if you are going to fill up this week, do what you always do and buy what you need.
Is a public calls not to panic buy the...
I didn't even consider panic buying petrol.
Are they the consumer equivalent of telling fans not to boo?
Yes. I didn't even consider it. I mean, I said yesterday, fill up this week, but I didn't mean
That's not panic.
fill up every jerry can. I just meant save as much money as you
Yeah,
can.
because you might save 17.5 cents a litre.
Yeah.
Or something in that order.
Yeah.
That makes sense. I haven't seen any evidence of this, but maybe our listeners have. If you're out on the road, are people changing their behaviours? Have you maybe, were you willing to self-identify? Have you topped up when you had 95% of a full tank? Let us know. 8223 I agree. Yeah, but my grand encompassing theory of what we call panic buying is in 99% of cases there was no panic buying. I think we ran out of toilet paper during COVID because everyone bought one extra bag as opposed to everyone buying all of them. I think some people did. But I think overwhelmingly the actual problem is not some people buying lots. It was everyone buying a little bit more.
Well, and that's the issue with this, right? I think if you're topping up your tank, cool, go for it. Fill your boots and your car. But but if you're bringing a trailer full of petrol tanks and filling them up, no, we don't need to do that, do we?
No, I wouldn't have thought. No, let's hope not. Yesterday, in Breaking 8, Stacey revealed State of Origin would be making a comeback. And yesterday we got to hear from both the Premier and indeed one of the greats to have ever pulled on the state jumper, Bone, Chris McDermott.
The AFL owe it to the people to get it back, to make it part of the calendar as often as they can. And, well, I understand the talk about the competition now is more important. There's no room for it. But you make room for something that's really special. And I'm just glad to see Western Australia leading the charge to get it back.
I'm not sure whether we put this to the jury or not. We're going to decipher our jury question after 7:30. And maybe let us know on the text line, folks, if you fall into this camp. But I did detect, certainly on social media yesterday, less enthusiasm among South Australian football fans than I imagine, for football reasons, not because of necessarily the taxpayer component or the artificial component of it, or indeed the limited nature of it, but a practical reason that is, it's great in Victoria when you've got 10 clubs and you're providing one or two players, but if you're the Crows or Port and a third of your best 18 might be playing in a game, are you then at a disadvantage? I don't know, is that diehard footy fans who are overthinking it, or does it actually represent a broader level of concern about this?
I have an interesting perspective. Well, I think it's interesting anyway, coming from Sydney, State of Origin.
Well, we're State of Origin works.
It works, and it's played mid-season, and you just deal with your players not being in your team. You deal with the coaches. You deal with injuries, and it's always just been a part of the game. And so, coming to South Australia with the idea of State of Origin being discussed, and then players getting injured, and that being seen, obviously that's a negative for your team. But I think we overthink it.
Yeah,
I think we overthink it. You either want State of Origin, and you have to deal with what comes with that, or you don't want it anymore and you want your players playing their best game of footy on your side, on the field for your team every week. It's one or the other. You can't have this mid-level ground.
Yeah, it's so funny as you say that, because I think as South Australians we are, and probably Victorians as well, both jealous of the NRL and that the way State of Origin works, but then still not really willing to commit. You can't really, and you're absolutely right, you can't be both.
It's one or the other. You either have it and commit to it, or you don't and get over it.
Yeah, I think that's perfectly well said. Let's talk about the other big breaking story that came out of yesterday. 7 new suspected bird flu cases in the state's southeast. Now, potentially this constitutes what the authorities say is a cluster, which means potentially something more dramatic. If they're not isolated cases, it might mean there has been localised spread. Now, they're all greater crested terns. They were found across the Limestone coast at Cape Jaffa, Port Macdonald. Then there were 5 at Southend Jetty near Beachport. So the total we'll get to is 14 cases if these are all found as positive. Let's introduce into the conversation the CEO of BirdLife Australia, Kate Miller. Kate, good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning.
Can we start with that terminology? What is the significance of the cluster, if that's what this is determined to be?
Yes, it is an incredibly concerning development and news none of us were hoping to hear. But unfortunately, what it is likely to mean is that we've had movement of the virus across those wonderful greater crested terns. So for your listeners, they are such a cool looking bird. They've got this really kooky rock star haircut at the back. They've got little feathers that spike up, and they're quite common right across that limestone coast. And because we've seen different individuals popping up at all those different locations. And given we do understand the behaviour of these birds, unfortunately, it does really look like the virus is now spreading in a local resident bird population.
And how easily is it spread among the bird population? I was reading about fears that, it can be spread through bird droppings. So all that has to happen is that happens near a cluster of birds and then they're all at risk?
Well, yes. And so I think what we've seen internationally, and I guess as soon as we started to see those seabirds flying up from the subantarctic islands and, remembering it's only a few weeks since those large giant petrels arrived, and somehow, they have engaged with crested terns, and the sort of technical name is high pathogenetic, and what that means is it's really, really contagious. So it does not take much for this virus to skip between bird species and also, unfortunately, then into marine mammals.
I've seen the authorities invoke the term the mandatory housing of poultry. Is mandatory housing a temporary measure to try and have this all blow over, or is it something that becomes permanent? What role does a strategy like that play?
Yeah, so as BirdLife Australia, we're particularly interested and focused on wild birds, but we really do understand that this has a huge risk and poses a huge risk for the poultry industry. And the two things are connected, where our birds go in farms and on landscapes can interact with agriculture and definitely the poultry industry. So my understanding of those measures, it's really trying to keep the chooks safe. So it's preventing that interaction between wild birds and birds that are in that sort of poultry production system. So unfortunately for wild birds, though, they fly around, they're wild, and so we don't have similar measures to keep them safe.
Yeah. I know it's not your thing, Kate, but I was thinking about it today, even that idea of housing the birds and free-range chickens. What does that mean for eggs?
Yeah.
Can they still be considered free-range if they're housed? I don't...
Yeah.
So my understanding is these are temporary measures at the moment, given where we're at in terms of the number of detections. So yes, I think the federal government has said, look, it's temporary, so those chickens that normally wander around can be free range. But I think for us, what we're really talking to the federal and state governments about, and your state government actually was fantastic and started up a new partnership with us, the Bird Observers Network, just to really get on top of where these birds are and what's that proximity, I guess, to cities and agriculture. But really what we need to see happening is action on the ground that's going to protect both wildlife and poultry. So we've got programs along the Coorong that are due to time out because of lack of funding this very summer, which is the peak time these birds will really be trying to breed, and we really need that next population, to make sure we can recover from this virus. So we need more funding flowing into really practical things like fox control. Foxes are known vectors that can move from wild populations into farms. So, the really low level of funding that we've, sort of limped along with for a long time, now is the time to really upscale all of that work so we can have those wonderful birds get through this really big threat, but also it's really important to protect agriculture as well.
Kate, what have we learned about the international experience when it comes to the bird flu getting into wild bird populations? Obviously, we know it's devastating, but after a period, do any species grow any form of herd immunity? Do they become resistant? Is there light at the end of this tunnel?
Yes, and this is the difficulty with viruses is unfortunately they can change and mutate, but there's no doubt that at the end of when these viruses go through, that you've really got to take a lot of care with the wildlife populations after that first impact. And so that's, again, all of the things I was talking about, removing all the pressures and the threats. So the individuals that do make it through, and for most populations that is a really strong possibility, we get them back on their feet as quickly as possible. But for some species, as we know, where they're already what we call threatened with extinction, so you're really down to very, very, very low numbers, this is why we're so incredibly worried about what H5 bird flu might mean for Australian wildlife.
BirdLife Australia CEO Kate Miller, thanks for your time this morning on 5AA Breakfast.
Thank you.
It does feel like it's here.
Yeah.
And there was a sort of a sense of inevitability about it in terms of it's been around the world, and we'd hope to withstand it. Kate actually detailed quite nicely. There's two distinct camps here. There are our wild birds that we're concerned we might see some go extinct. Big issue. Then there's the industry component of it. That's people's livelihoods here in South Australia.
Exactly.
That the problem for them is not that there'll never be chickens again, but they just might never be in business again. There's a real human element to it as well. That is potentially absolutely devastating. So we'll continue to monitor that, and we'll bring developments to you as they do come to hand. Remember, you can watch along on the Facebook and YouTube live stream on 5AA Breakfast right throughout the morning. Thanks to Walk a Mile in My Boots. Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile. Register or donate today at walkamile.org.au. Should do a couple of texts quickly before we go to the break.
Yeah, we're getting quite a few text messages about State of Origin, and Phil makes a really good point. How the hell are they going to have State of Origin at Adelaide Oval in February at the height of the cricket season?
It's a great. Well, there was issues at the start of, was it this footy season or last footy season? Thank you, Patty. Where the ground wasn't ready, and cricket. I mean, this has been a historical fight in South Australia, hasn't it? That said, I've got this feeling that if the Premier wants to cut down trees in the parklands, once upon a time he would have said, well, no government's ever going to get away with that. I reckon they're going to get the football game moved, and there'll be some sweetener for cricket, and cricket will know this.
Yeah.
And they'll say, well, if we want that, we're going to need...
We need this.
Karen Rolton Oval needs a new grandstand or something. Yeah, there'll be some sweetener, I'm sure of it. It's totally reasonable question.
And we will never find out how much taxpayer dollars are being spent on any of this.
It'll all be...
But everyone gets to go to a sporting match of their choice and have a great time.
That's right. Everyone will be happy.
Yep. David says the issue for SA State of Origin is we'll get thrashed by Vic, whereas in the 80s we were strong and competitive. The romance of the past might get lost quickly.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe, but I'm a romantic. Who said that through?
That was David.
David. You're probably right, David. I want to see it still to be sure. To be 100% sure. 22 after 7, we're going to take a quick break. We're back in just a moment. Let's check traffic first. Thanks to the great people at Foodland, with more stores close to home and everyday low prices, great food lives at Foodland. Speaking of great South Australians, the mighty South Aussies.
Morning there. A Croydon Park, a smash on the north-south motorway near Regency Road, seeing big delays inbound. At Hove, a previous crash has closed Brighton Road outbound at Dunrobin Road, and Modbury Heights traffic lanes are due to a blackout McIntyre Road near Milne Road. Speed camera this morning, Nottage Terrace at Matindi. Every minute of every day, a child is admitted to hospital. Your monthly donation to Starlight brings happiness when it's needed most. Donate at starlight.org.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
And an advisor. But before Labor climbs too high on its moral high horse, perhaps it should take a long look in the mirror.
Graham Goodings.
Australians deserve better.
Weekday mornings from 9 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
5AA's Tech Talk with your host, Adelaide Tech Guy Richard Pascoe. Thanks to Harvey Norman Computers.
Thinking it might be time for a new phone? Maybe something that flips or folds? Pre-order the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 8, Z Fold 8 or Z Fold 8 Ultra at Harvey Norman and you'll receive a bonus $300 Harvey Norman gift card. Flip phones and fold phones are becoming very popular. Plus, pre-order the Galaxy Watch 9 or Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 and receive up to $250 in bonus gift cards. New phone, new watch, bonus gift cards. Sounds good to me. Hurry, the Samsung Galaxy Z Series gift card offer ends August 13th. The new Samsung Galaxy Z Series and Samsung Watch 9 series now at Harvey Norman. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
20 years ago, FIVEAA Milk Company was formed with a simple purpose: to give South Australians the freshest quality milk, farmed by the best SA dairy families. Keep it local, keep it real. Keep farming families farming. 20 years on, FIVEAA Milk Company produces over 17 million litres of milk every year, supporting 9 SA dairy families and employing over 100 South Australians. Look for local FIVEAA Milk Company products at your supermarket and let's keep a good thing going.
Harris Scarf Friends exclusive winter sale is on now. Refresh your bedding with 50% off a huge range of full-price quilts and pillows plus 40% off a huge range of full-price sheets. Hurry, sale ends soon. Exclusions apply. See conditions online. Harris Scarf. Great brands, great prices.
Every bathroom comes with a dark side. 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 Every bathroom comes with
Mould. It sneaks into grout. But what if it had nothing to sneak into? What if you chose Mr. Wet Wall instead of tiles for your bathroom and wet areas? It costs less and there's no scrubbing grout. Because with Mr. Wet Wall, there is no grout. Just a smooth, stylish surface, easy to clean and stunning to look at. So why wouldn't you Mr. Wet Wall? MrWetWall.com.
Sick of the wait after a car accident? Rain, hail or shine, Pro Paint and Panel has your back 24/7.
From towing and insurance paperwork to high standard repairs, they'll help get the process moving and your car back on the road.
Remember the 3 Ps, Pro Paint and Panel, South Road, Hindmarsh.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
26 minutes after 7, the Foreign Minister coming up very shortly. Phil Curry in the nation's cap. And I think we are going to do a State of Origin trial by jury, Stacey, because there's just so much interest, so many texts coming through.
So many text messages coming through about the State of Origin. Andrew says, I'm not keen on them. In today's corporate high-paying game, a player's worth could be completely diminished if injured. If I was the coach of a club or manager of a player, I wouldn't want them playing as it risks having a huge impact on the club and the player's career, which I think, football has become so professionalised. We've got a tribunal that decides.
That's right. And it works like a court of law.
It does. And no one knows how it works, like a court of law.
Yeah, exactly right.
So it's so professionalised now that, you either need to have a professional State of Origin series and have it planned and have a plan in place for how it works, or not.
I wish it worked like the World Cup, where you have it once every 4 years, all the states play each other, and that way you only probably get 2 chances in your career if you're really good. If you're not at the pinnacle, you might only ever get 1 chance. So it stops being this kind of thing, well, maybe I'll do it next time, or this preseason's really important, and it just makes it a special event every few years. I'd love that, but I don't think they'll ever do it.
No, it makes too much sense.
I think it'd be really fun, though.
Yeah, it would be. Mark says cricket will get knocked off Adelaide Oval like normal. Mally will see to that. That's Mark in Para Hills. And Phil says, well, Karen Rolton Oval's already getting an upgrade with seating on the west side and new floodlights, and he's done the
the scratchy chin face.
What's happening here?
I didn't even know when I said that, Phil. I wasn't aware. It's a beautiful little oval, Karen Rolton Oval, actually. I think it's a really nice spot. So I wouldn't begrudge it getting some facilities. But, it does feel like a logical sort of trade-off for not getting use or access to Adelaide Oval for a time. Keep your texts coming through. Still lots of people nominating things that make them laugh with the passing of Bill Oldie overnight and the goodies. We've been talking about great comedies, great TV shows, great comedians. If you've got a nomination, we'll get back to that a little bit later in the morning. Stick around. Big, powerful half hour coming up on the other side of 5AA News.
Oh, geez, it's hot in here. Can someone pass the Morford air? Oh, that's better.
When the temperature is too hot or cold to bear, reach for the Morford Air, Adelaide's own homegrown family air conditioning company. Morford Air has kept South Australians perfectly comfortable for over 50 years. So when it's too hot or cold to bear, you can always reach for the Morford Air. Look for the bright blue building at 602 Marion Road or visit morfordair.com.au.
Morford. For those whose pool is the main feature of their yard, Walco offer a special mesh cover to keep debris and leaves out while making your pool area look stunning all through winter. Join the great cover-up and ask Walco about their stylish new mesh pool covers. Walco.com.au.
Are mum and dad considering retirement living? If they sell the house, what happens to their pension? What are the tax implications? McGain Real Estate have specialist advisors ready to sit down for a chat. Contact McGain today. McGain.com.au.
Australia's favourite country rock band, the Wolf Brothers, are in South Australia this weekend on their Australian-made tour. With 15 golden guitars, 5 #1 albums and 20 #1 singles, the Wolf Brothers are known for delivering the most exciting live show in Australian country music. Catch the Wolf Brothers this Friday at the Gov in Adelaide and this Saturday at the Barossa Arts Centre in Tanunda. Special guest is the amazing Taylor Moss. Book your seats now on thewolfbrothers.com.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 7:30 news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
Police will comb waters off Port Macdonald near Mount Gambier today for a missing baby. The bodies of a 36-year-old mother and another child, a toddler, were pulled from the ocean yesterday. 7 News reporter Madison Stanley says police held a media conference there late last night.
Oh, it's a horrible, horrible tragedy. Police didn't reveal too much more than what was put out in the release. A car was found in a car park with the engine still running, and some concerned locals called police, and after police attended, they did unfortunately find the body of a mother and a small child. Police are still looking for another child, a baby. They're still trying to work out whether the baby was with the mother, but yeah, horrible tragedy.
The state's road tolls continuing to climb. It now stands at 67 after a 61-year-old cyclist died in hospital following a crash at Crafers West earlier this month. Yesterday, a motorbike rider was killed in a crash at Gawler involving another car. The federal government has announced plans to build a new oil refinery in WA to improve the nation's fuel security. Labor will commit $4 million towards a feasibility study into constructing the facility, which would be the country's first new refinery since the 1960s. The complex aims to make Australia less reliant on fuel imports amid the supply chain disruptions brought on by the Iran war. The government's warning inflation could reach as high as 7% amid the escalating conflict in the Middle East. Treasury documents show oil prices could spike to around $200 a barrel if disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz and Red Sea continue. The document shows a prolonged war would exacerbate cost of living pressures, potentially causing an economic downturn. The Productivity Commission argues over-regulations halting progress on Australia's housing supply. An interim report suggests complex zoning laws, poor infrastructure planning and slow approvals processes need to be fixed to ensure more properties are built. Commissioner Alison Roberts says failing to address the issues puts home ownership out of reach for even more Australians.
It currently takes 11 years for the average household to save for a 20% deposit on the typical home. So big part of the problem and the reason we're looking into this is that we don't have enough houses in areas where people want to live.
Firefighters are working to quell massive wildfires in France and Spain as another heatwave hits Europe. Hundreds of thousands of people have been evacuated across both countries. Former Adelaide girl Claire Franks now lives in Bordeaux and says it's a nervous time.
It was just in the Cap-Ferret area. And then the winds changed and it came inwards towards the city, and it just sort of went straight through those huge pine plantation forests and has made its way almost to the borders of Bordeaux, unfortunately.
And Australia's top 2 unionists will stand down before the end of the year. The ACTU has announced Secretary Sally McManus and President Michelle O'Neill will leave to bring renewal to the organisation. An official election will be held later this year to determine the new leadership team. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
For security, safety and style made to order, choose Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Adelaide's players will hit the training track in a couple of hours' time as they look to Sunday's clash against Essendon, hoping to bounce back and revive faint hopes of a top 4 finish. Port Adelaide's players will also train this morning. That's ahead of Saturday night's match against GWS. Still on footy, St Kilda coach Ross Lyon admits forward Max King's devastated after a fresh hamstring injury ruled him out for the rest of the season. The 26-year-old only returned on the weekend, his first match in more than 2 years, but as soon as he got back, he's now been sidelined again. Lyon telling Fox Footy they're upbeat about his long-term prospects despite the setback.
He's really devastated. But his concern was he'd let the club and his team down. And shame's too strong a word, but probably embarrassed and, like, have you guys had enough of me? And I said, hang on here. We're in. So we're on our knees, but we're not bowed. And he'll do a full pre-season. He's in, we're in, his family's in.
Some good news too for the Saints, with Lyon revealing midfielder Darcy Wilson has signed a contract extension, keeping him at Moorabbin until at least the end of 2028. Meantime, Brisbane defender Ty Gallop fronts the AFL Tribunal tonight on a serious misconduct charge. The MRO accusing Gallup of deliberately dumping Port Adelaide's Mitch Georgiades' head into the Gabba turf on Sunday. Well, Aussie Diamond Cara Conan says her side is primed for Commonwealth Games glory after 2 strong wins. Australia smashed Tonga in their opening game before a 19-goal victory over England. Conan telling Brisbane Talkback they're aiming up.
Couldn't have asked for a better start in terms of outcomes. Still lots to build on though, looking after our day off to head into another 3 big games before we lead into finals.
And Kenny, that is the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
Morning there at Croydon Park, still seeing delays inbound with the smash in the north-south motorway near Regency Road. At Hope, Brighton Road still closed at Dunrobin Road from an earlier crash. Modbury Heights, traffic lights out of action due to a blackout McIntyre Road near Milne Road. And we are slow for works at Jeps Cross today, Grand Junction Road near Main North Road. Early morning camera, Osmond Terrace at Norwood. The King Living Winter Sale ends Sunday. Save up to 50% on selected Australian Design Award-winning furniture. Hurry ends Sunday. Visit a King Living showroom today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
Now the 5AA forecast, showers and 15 today, a shower or 2 tomorrow, 14, cloudy on Thursday, also 14, and staying cloudy for Friday, 15. At the moment, 10 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
You can get a nice hot shower, a decent meal, and then to get your clothes washed. Do you know how good it feels just to put on clean clothes? People don't understand exactly how bad it is out there.
Step up to end homelessness by supporting Hutt Street Centre's Walk a Mile in My Boots. Register or donate today. walkamile.org.au.
The most frustrating thing about having your car repaired after a collision can be the wait. Sometimes months. At FIVEAA Panel Services, the wait is one thing you won't have to worry about. We've expanded our workshop and our highly skilled team. It means we're better equipped to deliver an outstanding outcome for you and your car. RAA and MTA approved, FIVEAA Panel Services work with most insurance companies. So ask for FIVEAA Panel Services and get back on the road sooner.
If you're considering a hair transplant, start with a conversation, not a plane ticket. Talk to Strand Doctor, led by Dr. Rama Target. The clinic's medical team at Strand Doctor offer personalised hair transplant treatments and hair rejuvenation therapies. Discover what options may be suitable for you right here in Adelaide. Hair transplant procedures carry risks and require recovery time. Individual results vary. Learn more at stranddoctor.com.au or visit 69 King William Street, Kent Town, Adelaide.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
22 minutes to 8. Phil Coorey in the nation's capital shortly. The Foreign Minister Penny Wong will be on with us in just a moment. Some breaking news out of Victoria. The party room there, the Victorian Labor Party room, will spill at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So just after our show, 9:30 this morning, it looks like the Deputy Premier, Ben Carroll will challenge Jacinta Allen. Now, the Victorian state election is on the 28th of November. So today's the 28th of July. So what are we talking, 4 months away? That's suboptimal, I would have thought, Stacey.
You'd think so. Sure. So this is about, saving the furniture. You'd assume they must know they're going to lose. They're getting all the polling coming in and they're saying, all right, what can we do to try and save as many seats as possible?
It's just extraordinary. The process there, and I saw it explained, is a difficult one. It's not a straight...
Oh.
I don't think it's particularly easy to change leader either. So we might be hearing about this over the course of the next couple of days. I guess we'll wait and see what happens at 9:30 today because that might simplify things.
It's a different system in Victoria because when they go to an election, they vote for upper house MPs every term. So there's no 8-year terms. They also have fixed 4-year terms in the upper house and it's based on region. So each region in Victoria has 5 MPs that represents it. So when you vote...
so it's almost like it works like the Senate.
Local,
a local version of the Senate.
Yeah, exactly. So you vote for your local MP in the lower house and you vote for your 5 upper house MPs in your area.
I don't mind that system at all.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, it's 20 to 8. Let's talk to a South Australian senator, the Foreign Minister Penny Wong, who joins us on 5AA Breakfast. Australia and Singapore having signed a new protocol on economic resilience and essential supplies. It's a mouthful, but essentially means that it guarantees us in this current context, the supply of fuel among global disruption, among other things. Foreign Minister, good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning to you both. It's really good to be with you. And yes, it is a bit of a mouthful, the name, but what it means is that it's an agreement where we agree that we'll give each other priority when it comes to trade in fuel and trade in other goods such as food. And so I always say to the Southeast Asian economies and to the North Asian economies, what you give us as fuel comes back to you as food, as dairy, as beef, as wheat, and we've both got an interest in making sure that continues. And this is all part of the government working to secure the diesel, petrol, jet fuel and fertiliser we need now and into the future.
I was reading your comments and that of your Singaporean counterparts with interest. There's the strength of the comments, and I was thinking about it in the context of the consternation there was in Australia at the outset of the conflict in the Middle East about our strategic fuel reserve and how we failed to meet international standards and whether that would leave us exposed. Do you now believe, given what's transpired, that we here in Australia have a blueprint now to navigate fuel supply disruption through international agreement and alliances and so forth that reduces the importance of physical fuel reserves here in Australia?
Look, that's a really good question, and you're right. When this all started, we faced a situation where 4 out of 6 refineries had closed under previous governments, and there was a concern about Australia's vulnerability. And one of the things we did was lent into the relationships we have built and deepened and strengthened over the time we've been in government with Singapore, with Korea, with China, with Japan, and with India and also with Indonesia to secure the fuel and fertiliser Australia needs. And we did come through this conflict, I think, in a very good place. And so you're right, it is a blueprint for how we assure our resilience and make sure Australians can keep getting the fuel and fertiliser the country needs. But it's not enough. We have to do more onshore as well, and that's why you've seen the Prime Minister announce how we're looking to support a new refinery in Australia because we do want to have more sovereign capacity, more domestic capacity as well. So you need both.
Can we clarify something that sits firmly within your purview as Foreign Minister? The Labor conference has just transpired here, obviously, in Adelaide. The national platform was updated as it pertains to Israel and Palestine. Some of the language was changed with regard to whether Hamas, terrorist group, should disarm. That was removed from the national platform. Is it still Australian federal government policy that Hamas should disarm?
It is, and in fact the platform does refer to the resolutions of the United Nations Security Council that require the demilitarisation of the Gaza Strip and Hamas having no role in the governance of Gaza and also reform of the Palestinian authorities.
But it was explicit before.
Oh, but we refer to the resolutions which set out those conditions. I would make the point I thought it was one of the most moving moments in the conference that we had a member of Parliament, a Labor member of Palestinian heritage, and a member of Jewish heritage, together moving the resolution in relation to Palestine and Israel. And we know that we've had a lot of division in our country, a lot of anger, and this was a moment which spoke to social cohesion and spoke to Australians coming together on what has been an intractable problem. And so I have enormous respect for Josh Burns and Bassem Abdo for what they did at conference and what they said to our party and about our party and country.
Minister, in your role as Foreign Minister, you deal with the issue of foreign interference a lot and have spoken about it quite regularly. With that in mind, was it appropriate that the Prime Minister attend a fundraiser by a Chinese billionaire at Point Piper?
I don't see how that is. Well, firstly, we have very strong rules against foreign interference. We have legislation that goes to the interference of foreign entities in Australia. I think it's very important, though, we draw a distinction between that and people who are Australian citizens but might be of different heritages. That's the first point. The second is the Prime Minister's addressed this and all donations are disclosed in accordance with electoral laws.
So you're comfortable with them being accepted, though?
Well, donation, political parties engage in fundraising. All political parties do, and those donate. We have been very clear about the need to be more transparent and disclose at lower levels of disclosure. So make sure people disclose for lower amounts. We've lowered the threshold, so we'll continue to do that.
Yeah, but this is from someone who is their family's facing an allegation of deceiving the Australian Tax Office. This is a totally different.
Sorry, no, you finish, Phil.
I was just going to say this is we're not talking about low level donations. We're not sure of the origins of it. The origin of this one's clear, is it not?
I'm not going to comment on allegations that are going through whatever legal processes. What I would say is the Prime Minister's addressed this. He does attend a lot of dinners, as he said, and any donation will be disclosed appropriately.
Well, but are you comfortable with the fact that the optics, can you accept that the optics of this don't look good, even if nothing improper occurred and the donations from the Chinese billionaire are going to be declared in accordance of the rules?
Stacey, we've tried to reform electoral laws to change the way in which the system works. There's obviously been a lot of that hasn't been able to be done for constitutional and other reasons in the way that people might want. So we are in a world where political parties will still fundraise and are still required to fundraise from the private sector, and we will disclose those donations in accordance with the law.
Okay. Minister, thanks for your time.
That's the Foreign Minister, Penny Wong, on 5AA Breakfast. A few thoughts coming through on the text line. We'll get to Phil Curry's in just a moment in the nation's capital. 8223 is the number. You can text us 210-480-81395. I think Scott's is worth reading.
Yeah. He says, okay, so money from Gina Reinhardt is bad and dangerous for Pauline Hanson, but Labor and a Chinese billionaire, nothing to see here.
Well, we'll get Phil Curry's thoughts because the Fin Review's done a bit of work on this. The political editor there in Canberra. Phil, good morning.
Morning, guys.
So we just had Penny Wong on. We've asked her a number of questions about the Point Piper dinner that the Prime Minister was at. She has repeated the Prime Minister's line that he goes to a lot of dinners, that they will declare all donations in accordance with the law that exists, and they've got a commitment to transparency and so forth. It smells a bit, though, doesn't it?
Yes, it does, and especially when you're sort of, as Stacey said in the intro, you're sort of throwing rocks at, where Pauline Hanson gets her funding from, and everything else. Look, they all do it well. They all have these big fundraisers, these private dinners, and political parties need money, and they've got to raise it somehow. And it's not uncommon to do these things. And the more powerful you are, the more people will pay to have, to sort of share a prawn cocktail with you or something like that. But sometimes, there's sort of people at these things or who host these things who have sketchy backgrounds or related to people with sketchy backgrounds. And you get yourself into this sort of trouble and these questions get asked. I mean, it is technically what Penny Wong is saying. It is, all within the rules, and as long as they disclose it and so forth. But I think, the public would probably like a little bit to be, our leaders to be a little bit more forthcoming than that, and they tend not to be. I don't know whether they just don't give sort of candid answers to these questions. The Prime Minister got all caught up on talking points on Sunday when he got pushed on this on the ABC's inside. Gave the same talking points as Penny Wong just gave you, and clearly sort of listeners don't sort of find that enough or acceptable. They could be a little bit more forthcoming, explain how this all works and why they do it. People don't have to like it, but you don't have to treat them like mugs.
And the reference that Penny Wong made to the legislation, they want to try and stamp this out, donations to political parties, which is a fair point to make. The government has introduced that legislation. It hasn't been accepted, though. But I wonder if the legislation was to pass, would this be acceptable?
I'll just correct you there, Stacey. It has passed, but it hasn't come in. Yeah, no, it's all right. It hasn't come in yet. So it was meant to start, I think, on July 1, but I think, I stand to be corrected, it's now January 1.
Right.
And to Labor's credit, Don Farrell sort of did that. They sort of trying to take some of the big money out of politics. And there are now limits about how much an individual can give a party, all sorts of things. So, the days of sort of the Clive Palmers and Gina Reinhardt and the Chinese billionaires and stuff, their influence will be limited in terms of the support they can give. And I think that's sort of a good thing, I guess, but at the same time they still need money. But I think it also maybe explains why there's this mad rush but before the deadline, before these new laws come into effect, to sort of fill your boots because it will be a lot more. It will be a lot harder.
Flies in the face of it because, as you mentioned, it's not really digestible to a lot of people in the public, and especially when you say, well, we actually have rules that are coming into play soon, and it would ban this behaviour. But until the rules are in place, we'll just keep going.
Yeah, maybe, but I think at the same time we've got to realise politics isn't cheap, and it costs a lot of money to. I was just in Adelaide last week for the Labor Party National Conference. That was 3 days at the convention centre there down on North Terrace. I mean, they wouldn't have got any change out of a couple of $1 million to put that thing on. And, probably more. So, it does. Then you've got sort of campaign costs and, wage costs and all these sorts of things. I mean, they're big things. And once elections, you've got state elections and federal elections and everything these days is expensive, so they do need money, and most of it comes from donations and stuff like that. So we've got to be a little bit careful. I mean, obviously the alternative is, you go to a full public funded model. I imagine people would squawk about that too.
Which is sort of what we have in South Australia now.
It is,
yeah, that's right. Yeah, but federally it'd be a lot more expensive. So they're your options. But the South Aussie model seems to be working. Maybe they'll go down that route, but. I think these sort of donation limits are probably the way forward for now.
Yeah. Good stuff, Phil.
See you guys.
Phil Curry, the political editor of the Australian Financial Review. We're going to take a break. We'll check traffic and come back with a trial by jury in just a moment. Foodland, with more stores close to home and everyday low prices. Great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Morning there at Croydon Park, still seeing delays inbound with the smash on the north-south motorway near Regency Road. However, a previous crash has closed Brighton Road outbound at Dunrobin Road and O'Halloran Hill a breakdown on the Southern Expressway near Seacombe Road. Still got those lights on the blink at Modbury at the moment. Modbury Heights, due to a blackout, McIntyre Road near Milne Road with the camera of the FIVEAA Terrace, North Adelaide. Power up Android at Telstra. Discover great deals on the latest Android phones on Australia's best mobile network. Visit Telstra today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in my boots. Register or donate today.
Z Fold 8 or Z Fold 8 Ultra at Harvey Norman and you'll receive a bonus $300 Harvey Norman gift card. Flip phones and fold phones are becoming very popular. Plus, pre-order the Galaxy Watch 9 or Galaxy Watch Ultra 2 and receive up to $250 in bonus gift cards. New phone, new watch, bonus gift cards. Sounds good to me. Hurry, the Samsung Galaxy Z Series gift card offer ends August 13th. The new Samsung Galaxy Z Series and Samsung Watch 9 series now at Harvey Norman. Terms and conditions apply.
Check out this great offer at a Harvey Norman store near you.
Harris Scarf Friends exclusive winter sale is on now. Upgrade your kitchen with 50% off a huge range of full-price cook sets plus 60% off full-price Smith & Noble cast iron. Sale ends soon. Exclusions apply. See conditions online. Harris Scarf. Great brands, great prices.
A smashed or damaged windscreen can happen in a heartbeat, but it does get worse if you don't go to your local Complete Windscreens to get it fixed. You could be waiting weeks. And look, that's not on. Complete Windscreens has windscreens and glass for all makes and models in stock right now with 15 technicians standing by to get you back on the road. You don't need to wait. Tell your insurance company you want Complete Windscreens on the job. CompleteWindscreens.com.au. Look for the big red koala.
Here at 5AA, we're all about supporting local. Plan your next getaway with the experts at Spark Travel, where every journey begins with a friendly conversation. King William Street in the city or sparktravel.com.au.
Imagine waking every morning to uninterrupted views across Adelaide's treasured parklands, protected forever. Some views last a lifetime. This is one of them. Crafted by Palumbo, one of South Australia's most respected developers, Royal Apartments offers luxurious residences and penthouses in one of Adelaide's most coveted locations. Experience a display apartment at 2 North Terrace, Kent Town, or visit royalapartments.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube. Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
5 minutes to wait. We've got $100 worth of Samtas seafood to give away. It's never a bad time to have seafood.
Never.
Cold weather, hot weather, you name it. It's good to get into Samtas, and $100 goes a long way. You'll notice none of Samtas's deals, they're inflation-proof. They just simply stay the same amount.
I don't know how they've made it work.
I don't know they've made it work.
Economic climate.
Because they're so good and they get so many people. One more will be heading in with $100 in their back pocket because they will have been on our jury this morning. Get calling now, 8223 0000. Inspired by a debate this morning we've had about the state of origin. We've talked about, is people do they want their teams giving up players? Is it a good idea? Taxpayer money and so forth. One element that hasn't been explored. We got talking about at 7:30 this morning. Who coaches the South Australian team? There are two South Australians who are currently coaching in the AFL. One is Matthew Nix. The other is Craig McRae. Bit of history between those two sides recently.
Yep.
Who would you like to see coach the State of Origin team, Nix or McRae? That's the jury question.
In the criminal justice system, all defendants are innocent until proven guilty, either by confession, plea bargain, or trial by jury. This is one of those trials.
All right, let's leap right into it. Nix or McRae, who's coaching South Australia at the State of Origin? Jury number one, what say you?
I think McRae. He will bring home the 4 points.
Craig McRae, thank you. Jury number two, good morning.
Good morning.
Nix or McRae?
Oh, McRae, I reckon. Yeah, has to be.
Okay, moment of hesitation there, though, but that's okay. Jury number three, who's coaching the State of Origin side?
Craig.
Craig McRae?
Yep.
Thank you,
That's
jury number
right.
three. Jury number four, good morning.
G'day, guys. Oh, it'd have to be McRae, wouldn't it? We could stab a couple of their players, go to the tribunal and get off, so...
That's interesting. Does the Collingwood tribunal flavour follow the coach?
Does it follow the coach?
That's like the immovable object and the irresistible force. Jury number five, good morning.
I'll go McRae because the other coach will probably be a good one and Nix will have trouble with it.
Jury number five, thank you. Now...
Can I be a bit cheeky here, Will?
Yes.
I'm a Port supporter,
Yes.
obviously, but something I'm beginning to notice more about Crows fans. Do Crows fans actually like their coach?
There is certainly a large number of Crows fans that wonder whether the issue with the side now, I'm trying to be judicious with my words here, is less about the available talent and more about how that talent is applied. So, yes, that means the coach. To speak plainly, yes, I think there is a cohort of Crows fans that is fairly large that would say, given now this is the second longest tenured coach in Adelaide's history, is it time to get over the hump to look at something else?
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's what's coming through. So that was 5-0 to 5-0 to McRae on an Adelaide radio station about a club that nobody in Adelaide likes at all.
No one wants the Adelaide coach to coach the South Australian team. Good recommendation on the text line. Craig in Shadow Park says Graham Corns.
Graham Corns. Yeah, I think Cornsy would have won 5-0 as well.
Imagine Cornsy.
Who would you like to see win $100 worth of Samtas seafood?
I think it has to be juror number 4.
Juror number 4?
Juror number 4.
Juror number 4, you got $100 worth of Samtas seafood coming your way. Ben, now hang on, this is unfair. I'm not going to read it out, Ben. Our resident stat, even the stats man doesn't get preferential treatment. He said he's trying to identify members of the jury. We don't do that. It's your right to
identifying them.
You've got a right to remain totally anonymous, Ben. You know the rules. $100 worth of Samtas seafood is heading juror number 4's way.
Juror number 4.
None of the texts we're getting seem to counter what we got in terms of the...
Even Andrew, I'm a Crows supporter and I'm still going Craig McRae.
Okay.
Not one vote for Matthew
We thought that
Nix
it might be an interesting exercise given how layered the relationship between Adelaide and Collingwood is at the moment.
there.
A lot of layers. 1 minute to wait.
You've worked hard, raised families, built a life. Now it's your time. At Living Choice Flagstaff Hill Retirement Village, wellness and comfort aren't extras. They're every day. Retirement is your time to focus on living well by taking advantage of the magnesium pool, staying active in the gym, or unwinding in the cinema with friends. Here, luxury living meets lasting well-being with beautiful move-in ready apartments waiting for you. Discover the retirement you deserve. Book your tour today at livingchoice.com.au.
A mum and dad considering retirement living?
If they sell the house, what happens to their pension? What are the tax implications? McGain Real Estate have specialist advisors ready to sit down for a chat. Contact McGain today. McGain.com.au.
The news and information that matters. This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 8 o'clock news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Need a crash repairer you can trust? FIVEAA Panel Services delivers expert care to you and your vehicle.
A search is resuming off Port MacDonnell in the state's southeast after the body of a mother and toddler were pulled from the water after they plunged off a cliff. A baby was still missing when the search was called off last night. The hunt will continue this morning pending weather conditions with rain and strong winds forecast in the area. A driver's been arrested in a stolen car after driving into a police cordon in the northern suburbs overnight. Senior Constable Kimberly Broad says the silver SUV with no registration plates drove through the cordon before heading into the drive-through of a fast food outlet at Ridgehaven.
Police vehicles have then blocked it in, but that driver's tried to escape by driving across the garden and ended up colliding with a light pole and also a police vehicle. So that driver's been arrested, a 37-year-old man from Morfettville. He's been charged with illegal use, driving unlicensed and in a manner dangerous.
The Nissan X-Trail had been stolen from a Brooklyn Park address earlier this month. The federal government's announced plans for a new Australian oil refinery amid warnings fuel prices could rise even higher. More from Nelson Scott.
The Iran war has exposed Australia's reliance on fuel imports, with just 2 operating refineries remaining in the country. The Albanese government will commit $4 million towards a feasibility study into building a new oil refinery in Western Australia to help enhance our energy security. The facility is set to be built by industrial manufacturing group Perdaman and would be the first new refinery in Australia since the 1960s. The move comes amid Treasury warnings fuel prices and inflation will continue rising as the Middle East conflict escalates and ongoing shipping disruptions continue.
Tests are being carried out after 7 more suspected cases of the H5 bird flu were discovered in SA. Australia has 20 confirmed cases across SA, WA, New South Wales and Queensland. All are in migratory and seabirds. Infectious diseases expert Dr Paul Griffin says the risk to humans remains low.
This is something that's devastating for birds, and certainly to get into commercial poultry will cause big problems, but the risk to human health is extremely low. Of course, we do want to take steps to make sure that remains the case.
Australians in the French city of Bordeaux have described the surreal and stressful wait for updates as a wildfire bears down on the area. The mayor says the flames are only about 15 kilometres from the city. Tegan says she grew up with summer bushfires on the south coast, but this feels different.
So incredibly unpredictable and equally so unprecedented as well. So it's really everybody's sort of waiting on bated breath to see what the next sort of hours and days will have in store for us.
Singer Carly Simon has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease and skin cancer. The 83-year-old says her absence from the spotlight has been due to her ongoing health battles. And British actor and comedian Bill Oddie has died at the age of 85. He was best known to Australian audiences through the 1970s TV show The Goodies. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Gliderol Garage Doors, over 50 years strong. All colours, all styles, all street appeal. Gliderol.com.au.
And Tom Wren loved The Goodies.
No, absolutely. Goody, yum, yum. I remember vividly growing up. It was an outstanding show. Let's start with a bit of football now. Adelaide defender James Borlase admits he'd love to stay at West Lakes with his contract expiring at the end of the season. The 24-year-old's in career best form, having played the last 12 games in a row, and he's told Rowie and Timmy G his preference is to stay put.
My family here, my partner's here, so I really like Adelaide, so yeah.
The Crows will train at West Lakes as they prepare for Sunday's clash against Essendon at Marvel Stadium. Port Adelaide's players will also hit the track this morning at Alberton just after 10 a.m. as they look to bounce back to the winners list with a win against GWS on Saturday night at home. Plenty of other footy news around. Brisbane's Ty Gallop is set to front the tribunal tonight. He'll learn what penalty he's set to face after dumping power forward Mitch Georgiades into the turf after he was left lying prone on the ground following a heavy tackle. St Kilda coach Ross Lyon admits forward Max King's devastated after a fresh hamstring injury ruled him out for the rest of the season. And Christian Petrarca concedes he was too passionate with his on-field feedback to young Gold Coast teammate and midfielder Leo Lombard. Let's go to the Commonwealth Games. Rose Davies has produced the run of her life to become Australia's first gold medalist in the 10,000 metres event at the Com Games.
She's going to do, Rose Davies, what no Australian has ever done before. A female has won the 10,000 metres at the Commonwealth Games. Stunning performance. Magnificent running. The back end was breathtaking.
Commentary there on 7. The Aussies have had another dominant night in the pool and also claimed gold in gymnastics, with Kate McDonald taking out the top gong in the uneven bars. The Aussies now sitting with 59 medals, including 26 gold. Briefly elsewhere, football fever's gripping Australia once more as English Premier League heavyweights Chelsea and Tottenham touch down in Sydney. And in some Major League Baseball news, Australian infielder Curtis Mead has been traded from the Washington Nationals to the Boston Red Sox. Kendall, that is the 5AA Sport.
Now let's check traffic.
Morning there at Croydon Park. Delays clearing from Nelliga Smash on the north-south motorway near Regency Road. However, previous crash has closed Brighton Road outbound at Dunrobin Road. Modbury Heights still got lights on the blink due to a blackout there. McIntyre Road near Milne Road and O'Halloran Hill, a breakdown on the Southern Expressway inbound near Seacombe Road. But have a quick look at the map. No delays. It looks okay this morning, which is good. Early morning camera at Kings Road, Paralawi. The cat's out of the bag. Audi prices just got Audier across the Chocker mini range. Now only $4.99 per pack. Audi. Good different. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
To the 5AA forecast, showers and 15 today, a shower or two tomorrow, 14, cloudy on Thursday, also 14, and staying cloudy on Friday, 15. At the moment, 10 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
These days, $2 doesn't go far, but with the People First Community Lottery, it could. Get your $2 early bird tickets at communitylottery.com.au by midnight July 30 for a chance to win a Toyota Corolla Hybrid. T's and C's apply. 700,000 tickets available. SA Lottery licence number M15015.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. For fixed price services, call Precise.
For a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
Hello, Frank Walker from National Tiles. Rush into National Tiles now for our famous spend and save. Spend $1,000 and we'll only charge you $800. Spend $2,000 and we'll only charge you $1,500. Or spend $4,000 and we'll only charge you $2,700. That's a massive $1,300 saving. Yes, the more you spend, the more you save. But you'll have to be quick. So rush into National Tiles or go online now and save. Conditions apply.
Stay informed, get involved. 5AA, always Adelaide.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
8 after 8, it is time for our daily commiserations to those on the Southeastern Freeway.
Oh, no.
I've just got a picture of the traffic gridlock there. Not only is it foggy, says Ryan, it's also the speed limit's down to 80 before the old Kerry Gully Road Bridge on the down track, way before Crafers or Stirling. So our thoughts and prayers are with everyone currently on the Southeastern Freeway.
It does look foggy out there.
Yeah, we
dark.
can't see the hills, can we?
No.
You can't see the hills at all, so drive safely.
Does the sun exist today?
Doesn't look like it.
No,
the sun gave up on this Tuesday morning. I do like this thought that's come through on the text line from Brett. Brett says, Stacey, you should start footy training and put on a port Guernsey and get out there and play AFLW for the mighty Power Girls. Girl power. Is that on the cards?
Brett.
A late career change?
Thank you. Brett, I love you. Thank you. No, you haven't seen me walk at all anywhere, let alone run. If you're in my suburb in the afternoon, you see me struggling up a hill with a pram, you'll probably see the extent of my fitness level. So absolutely not. I love watching the Power Girls play.
Yes.
But
I think Brett might be onto something. I don't mind that suggestion.
Get out of breath watching them play, so that probably gives you...
Yeah, I mean, it's probably... You're not going to play on the ball then. Maybe you can just sit in the forward pocket and kick some goals. Brett, terrific. All right, let's go breaking at 8.
Well, we've been talking about the State of Origin this morning and another event coming to South Australia. This is probably the opposite of that, an event, as has been foreshadowed for a while, potentially leaving South Australia, Live Golf. A couple little updates on that. We have heard that there was $500,000 that was due to be paid to the Kooyonga Golf Club by this month as a sort of a down payment for the event next year. Apparently that's yet to be paid. And that was a Live Golf check.
Not a great sign.
No. So that wasn't a state government check or anything. That was from Live Golf, the tournament. And no, hasn't been paid yet. So Kooyonga's still awaiting that. And we have also found out that the deadline for a decision by Live Golf is the end of September. So this is the date at which Live Golf needs to tell the state government we're coming to Adelaide next year or it's off.
So we're going to know one way or the other within 8 weeks probably.
Yeah, end of September, 28th.
Which makes sense because we had a lot of disruption for Kooyonga Golf Club and their members if in the end nothing happens. But maybe by September there will be little that's done. I don't know Kooyonga well enough to know about whether there's actually any work that's been done there or not. But
let us know if you're a Kooyonga member. We'd love to hear from you.
Everything we were hearing about the event was it was going to be different, wasn't it?
Very different. It's a much smaller course than Grange. Even the entertainment, the big concert that's become synonymous with Live Golf and the DJs that they have, that wouldn't be taking place at Kooyonga. It would have to be at another facility across the road. I think it was the footy club that was being thrown up as an option. So all of that planning, I think, has just been on hold for a while now until Live Golf decides whether or not it's coming. And not a good sign, but the recent Michigan finale, there is suspicions that might be cancelled. There's talk that that's not going ahead. So that's the big finale tournament for the year for Live. And if that one doesn't go ahead, maybe not good signs for next year.
So nothing's confirmed in terms of even Michigan not happening or Adelaide not happening. But if we were to look back retrospectively knowing that Adelaide didn't go ahead, you'd say all the things that would have happened in the lead-up that would point to it not happening, they've kind of happened, haven't they? It's officially at the point, I think, it feels like it'd be a shock if it happens.
Yes, it would be a huge
Just reading
shock.
the tea leaves, it doesn't. Saudi funding's gone. They haven't found a backer. The Asian DP tour's gone.
Some of the American ones are gone.
Now, there was that remarkable stat that the Adelaide one was the only one that made 60% of the profit for Live. So maybe they would say, it's worth doing one last time, but it just doesn't feel that way, does it?
Or if they're still trying to get a backer, maybe they'll say, all right, let's keep Adelaide going.
That's the one you can really sell to people.
Yeah, get people here, bring them along to the event and prove to them it's worth continuing.
I think that the interesting point you made there too, that I think is fascinating information, the September deadline to know. So, yeah, we'll find out very soon. Intriguing. It's 13 minutes after 8, and this week I've seen actually the signage up and the pink posters and things around the place this week for Donate Life, because it's Donate Life Week at the moment through until this Sunday, raising awareness to get people to sign up to donate to be organ donors and organ and tissue donors. Oren Klemick is, of course, someone we speak to all the time about the wonderful work he does with this really important cause. And at this time of year, it's always important to reflect on what we can all be doing to help out our fellow Australians. Oren, good morning to you.
Oh, Will, hi. Stacey, hello. Lovely to speak to you guys.
There are 2,000s on the wait list, Oren, to get an organ. And we can all that's 2,000 people and 2,000 families that we can all help, isn't it?
Oh, mate. Yeah, too many people die on waiting lists. It's as simple as that. Yep. And it's such a hard thing. To become an organ donor is a very unusual thing. There's only, believe it or not, 700 or 800 a year in Australia that can actually donate their organs and die in a way that can, offer a better life to other people. We just need more organs. It's as simple as that. There's too many people on the waiting list. There's about, 14,000 people needing a kidney at the moment. We've got a big job to do, and this week is Donate Life Week. So it's a week that we promote organ donation, and we do a lot of work trying to encourage people to register as an organ donor, and you can do that through donatelife.com. It's really easy, takes 1 minute, have your Medicare card with you, and just register. You can do it through your driver's licence when that comes as well in South Australia. We're the only state that does that. But, it's a big, big week, and, hey, guys, at the end of the day, when you die, you don't need your organs. Why not give them to someone else, hey?
Exactly. And it's a really poignant time to be talking about this. You mentioned that the fact that we have the option here in South Australia to tick the box on your driver's licence when you go and get it, but it's a bit more than that, isn't it, Oren? We should be having these conversations with our families, even though it seems like a hard conversation to have and can be perceived as being a bit grim. I just think it's a really important one to have.
It really is, Stacey. Thanks for bringing that up, because it was going to be my next point. But, the registering is really important, but then telling your family, just say, because when the horrible event happens, and it happened with my wife and I, Jill and I were in the hospital with our son on life support, having suffered meningococcal disease. The doctor said, I'm sorry, he's brain dead. Will you donate his organs? Now, Jack was registered, and he'd chatted with his mum about it while they were preparing the dinner. And he said, while he was filling out his P-plate licence, Mum, what's organ donation? And she said, if something horrible happens to you, darling, you can give your organ, the doctors can give your organs to other people. So he went, tick the box. And so we're trying very, very hard around Australia to bring that back because rates of donation are dropping. We're finding registration rates are dropping because the driver's licence system around Australia, other than here, has been abandoned. So we're trying to bring that back.
It's just such an easy thing to do, surely, Oren. I don't understand what the resistance would be interstate.
Mate, it's dumb. But look, once it's gone, it's hard to bring back, but we'll get it back. And a lot more people then will register, and a lot more people like us, when given the choice of will you donate your loved one's organs or not, they'll know, yep, they were registered, so we will do that. And so that's certainly what we're trying to do at the moment. And so please, anyone listening, if you're not registered, don't wait for your driver's licence to come along. Just register. Just go on to donatelife.com. Have your Medicare card with you. If it takes you a minute, I'll be surprised. And you're registered as an organ donor. And then, Stacey, as you said, tell your family, please.
Yeah.
Make sure they know your wishes.
Well said. Yeah. Good to chat with you, Oren. Appreciate your time.
Hey, lovely chatting, guys. Thank you so much for calling. Thank you. Bye.
Oren Clemick on Donate Life Week. So I face this conundrum in this day and age. There's an old saying, Stacey, that you'd be well familiar with about sunlight being the best disinfectant. But I don't know how often or to how many dopey, online, stupid, moronic things that are getting around are worth ever talking about or giving air to. But I never knew why there was any resistance to this.
The licence thing or donating?
Donating.
Oh.
No. Beyond personal preference or squeamishness, maybe, I kind of didn't understand. I saw some stupid TikTok thing that I can't, if you have an IQ above room temperature, I can't imagine would sway anyone. But there seems to be this urban legend that if you are an organ donor, the medical people will fight less hard to save you in case you are near death.
Seriously?
Yes.
What, they think
I'd never heard this before.
Doctors and nurses and medical health professionals who dedicate their lives to keeping people alive.
Hippocratic oath and all that,
will say, actually, they're an organ donor. We need a couple for John in room 2.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, that'll actually, So some of it is, this is probably one we can let slide. Oh, come on. So I don't know. I'm totally at a loss with this kind of stuff, whether it's ever worth mentioning or not. But I just thought,
we need a conspiracy theory sound.
I mean, Seriously.
What's wrong with people?
Cause of death, organ donor. You know.
Yeah.
Was that what they write at the bottom of the... Anyway, if you see that one getting around, just disregard it, please. It's stupid. 19 after 8. Let's check traffic. Foodland, with more stores close to home and everyday low prices. Great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
G'day there at Croydon Park. Got delays clearing from that earlier smash at the north-south motorway near Regency Road. Ho, a previous crash has closed Brighton Road outbound at Dunrobin Road. O'Halloran Hill breakdown to look out for this morning. The Southern Expressway inbound near Seacon Road, but not seeing too many delays there, which is good for the Southern Expressway. And Modbury Heights traffic lights still out due to a black on McIntyre Road near Milne Road. Pesky camera this morning, Campbell Road, Elizabeth Downs. The Woolies online super sale is on now. Get a see about $50 off your first online shop of $170. Super save your savings and enjoy new deals online every week. T's and C's apply. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5.
The energy today, the amount of people who've got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in My Boots. Register or donate today.
Bigger than Ben-Hur. The best players on display once again. Adelaide's only local sports show. I'm keen to see what sort of side South Australia can actually put together. The 5AA Sports Show. Weekday afternoons from 4 on 5AA. Always Adelaide.
If you're after legendary reliability and safety,
get a Toyota forklift.
Yep, Toyota is still the world's #1 forklift brand, famous across just about every industry for their reliability and safety. That's the Toyota Forklift Advantage. And with great electric options and branches all over the country, find the right Toyota forklift for you at toyotamaterialhandling.com.au.
Don't just get a forklift, get a Toyota forklift.
These days, $2 doesn't go far, but with the People First Community Lottery, it could. Get your $2 early bird tickets at communitylottery.com.au by midnight July 30 for a chance to win a Toyota Corolla Hybrid. T's and C's apply. 700,000 tickets available. SA Lottery licence number M15015.
Some swear jars collect coins, but at Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, their swear jar collects promises.
Hi, I'm Amy. I hope you can hear me smiling because that's how I answer the phone. I'm your first contact at Buy Urban and I swear to help you any way I can.
I'm Laura. I swear to help bring your thoughts and design ideas to life, just how you envisioned them, or better.
For a team that swears to deliver on quality and service, see Buy Urban Bathrooms and Kitchens, Adelaide's home renovation experts.
Had a whoopsie, a bingle or a big kabong?
Pro Paint and Panel can organise towing, manage the insurance paperwork and repair your car to a high standard.
So remember the 3 Ps. Pro Paint and Panel, South Road, Hindmarsh.
There's a moment every family hopes for. When you walk in and they're just happy, settled, themselves, and you realise the decision you agonised over was the right one all along. Para Ability Community Care is one of the state's largest and most trusted disability accommodation providers. We're improving lives in small ways every day. Our PAC fully trained carers give your loved one the life they deserve and give you back the relationship you always wanted. Experience our kindness and connection. Visit ourpac.com.au.
Hi, Daniel Talia here, General Manager of Home. That's HAUME. Put simply, we buy homes. If you've received a letter from us in your mailbox, don't throw it away. You may be throwing away a golden opportunity to sell your home at market value. With zero effort, advertising fees or commissions, you'll save thousands of dollars. If you've received a letter from us, it means we're serious about buying your home. For more info, visit home.com.au. That's HAUME.com.au.
Rosanna Mangiarelli here from 7 News. Join me and Will Goodings for Adelaide's leading news hour, 7 News, tonight at 6 o'clock.
Knock down, build 2 with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
Just chatted with Oren Clemick about Donate Life Week. Some great text. Russell says, I just did what Oren suggested and I'm clumsy with IT. Took me 2 minutes maximum.
Oh,
all done.
Good on you, Russell.
Good on you, Russell. You're a legend. And Karen says, in New Zealand, the driver's licence is ticked yes automatically. You have to opt out. Is this possible here? Bro, it should be.
It should be.
Because make the case why it should be the other way. I don't know make the intelligent case of why the default position should be you don't do it. I just don't understand what that is.
Because the doctors in the hospitals who spend their lives keeping
TikTok.
you alive.
Because of stupid TikTok videos.
Donatelife.gov.au is the website. You can do what Russell did. Head on, 2 minutes maximum, even if you're clumsy with IT, and you can make it happen. Get yourself to be an organ donor. Now, Will, this is something that I've been banging on about for a while.
Yeah, this is a good story.
We're going back to it. School zones. I thought I'd settle in for a couple of weeks with you and...
Yeah, I know. Now you're getting comfortable.
Now I'm getting comfortable. I can start my rants again. School zones. And every time we talk about it, so many of you have thoughts on the school zones. As we know, they're rolling them out across the state where on main roads, the speed limit will be reduced from 60 down to 40. And I'm yet to meet anyone that has an issue with that. The issue is more so about the awareness of the new speed limit and reducing it down to 40. And my theory is I think we should not have ambiguity around schools and children's safety. We should have flashing lights during times when the school zone is in effect, so no one is confused. No one can say, I didn't see the signs. Just make everyone slow down and make everyone aware that that is the school zone. There are also other people advocating for these school zones to be rolled out more quickly because there was 100 or so of them that were going to be rolled out across the state, but that's happening over a 12-month period. And Blake Derra is a resident in the southern suburbs, and he has been advocating for the Seacombe Road pedestrian crossing out the front of Seaview High School to be rolled out more quickly than is planned. He joins you now. Good morning to you, Blake.
Good morning, Stacey, Will, and to all your listeners. Thanks for having me.
No, thank you for your time. For those who don't know that area well, can you give us a bit of a description as to why you think that crossing there out the front of Seaview High School really needs the school zone implemented quickly?
Yeah, well, there's a few reasons for it, firstly, but Seacombe Road is quite a busy road as it is. I was a student at Seaview High School quite a number of years ago now. I won't say that the number. But essentially, late March, there was an incident where a teacher was struck in peak hour traffic, and as school was starting at the end of March. So I wrote away to the minister basically advocating for some improved safety conditions for the school area. And at this point in time, there's actually no 40 kilometre an hour school zone signage at all at this site. And just 2 of the 13 locations in this area that have been proposed in the wider Marion Council area have been installed so far. So the background of this area too is that you've also got an early learning centre right next to Seaview High School, and about 200 metres away you've got Darlington Primary and Stella Maris Primary. So there's a lot of students in the area, there's a lot of pedestrians at peak times throughout the morning and of course as well in the afternoon. And I really do think there's a call for safety or a fast-tracked approach to getting the signs installed much quicker than what they are now.
And there's been an incident at the school in the past, hasn't there?
Yeah, well, that was back in March where a pedestrian was hit by a car, and that was actually what prompted me to write away to the minister, was that this had happened. It had been reported. I think it was very shortly after the state election, if my timeline's correct there.
Yeah.
But that was the main trigger for it, and it's also like the reason that I'm contacting you as well today, Stacey, is because like safety, as you said, is not ambiguous. You can't roll signs out really slowly and sort of say on your website, oh, it's late 2026 when an incident like that's happened. It's been 4 months since I've written away, and it's still under consideration by the minister at this stage. So it's not much of an update in terms of advocacy, but this is where we're at.
You've heard back from the school, though. Has that been positive?
Yep, heard back from the school that's involved. They've basically been told that there is a wider plan in place coming soon, but they, by the sounds of things, don't believe that they've been given a timeline yet. So it's sort of up in the air, pie in the sky at the moment, and there has been not much communication as to when it will be rolled out officially, but all it says on the website and in communications is that it will be by the end of 2026. So, I mean, 4 months is a long time to wait for an upgrade to a crossing, or at least a safety review of a crossing. But still waiting to hear back.
All right. Well, stay in touch, Blake, and let us know when you do hear back. Thanks for the update.
Thanks for having me on this morning. Of course.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like something that should be too difficult to get sorted, does it?
Oh, man, they're going to roll it out anyway. If this area has already
if it's
been
particularly accident prone, which has been drawn out.
Yeah,
Just do it.
Do it quicker.
29 after 8, quick text.
Yeah, getting quite a few texts. Brett says, I drive all over Adelaide and always obey the speed limit, but in the past week I've driven through 5 and only realised as I exited them the signs are too high and hard to see.
Yeah,
Cancel live golf and spend the money on flashing lights.
There's small text,
They are small
and it's
text.
finite times that aren't immediately obvious if you're rushing around doing whatever you do. Yeah, I think that should absolutely be something that gets fixed up ASAP. We're going to take a quick break. 5AA News is on the way. Back in a moment.
At Coles, save on sweet treats. Right now, get half price on Allen's Lollies, 130 to 200 grams, now just $2.50. Save in-store or online at Coles. Offer ends Tuesday.
This is 5AA News. Always Adelaide.
Showers and 15 with the 8:30 news. Good morning, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Had a collision? Get in touch with FIVEAA Panel Services and have your car returned to its former beauty.
Bad weather could hamper the search for a baby missing off Port Macdonald in the state's southeast. The bodies of the child's mother and sister were pulled from the water yesterday after plunging off a cliff. Emergency crews, fishermen and volunteers helped in the grim search yesterday without any success. Victorian Labor MPs have arrived at State Parliament ahead of an expected leadership spill against Premier Jacinta Allen. She's vowed to contest the leadership ballot even if the spill motion gets up. Her deputy Ben Carroll, who'd previously pledged unwavering support, is expected to challenge. The federal government has announced plans to build Australia's first new oil refinery since the 1960s. Labor will commit $4 million towards a feasibility study into constructing a refinery in WA. The government says it would help reduce our reliance on foreign fuel imports, which has been exposed by the Middle East conflict. A Productivity Commission report has concluded Australian governments need to cut red tape to help solve the housing crisis. The interim report argues over-regulation adds up to $320,000 to the cost of a new home. Commissioner Alison Roberts says complex zoning laws can slow the planning process before a build gets underway.
In Brisbane, Sydney, Perth and Adelaide, at least 75% of residential land is zoned for just 1 or 2 stories. So that obviously limits the amount of dwellings that can be built. And in Sydney, 50% of the land across 50 suburbs is covered by restricted heritage overlay.
The E-Safety Commissioner's warning about a rise in online predators harvesting student images from schools to make AI deep fakes. The online safety watchdog received more than 100 reports about school social media platforms being targeted to create harmful material. Cyber safety expert Susan McLean says all schools need to review their consent policies.
What we need schools to do is their job, understand what child safeguarding looks like, particularly in the digital space, and make sure that parents can receive photos of their students through an app or through a newsletter, but give them the option to opt out of social media.
A stage version of the much-loved movie The Castle is in the works. Rob Sitch, Jane Kennedy, Tom Gleisner and Santo Chiloro, co-creators of the 1997 film, say it'll be at Melbourne's Her Majesty's Theatre next year. Sitch says some jokes are being modernised, like using Marketplace and Gumtree instead of references to the Trading Post.
That actually came from me. I love the Trading Post, and I loved one column in it. It was a tiny one called Miscellaneous. And one day I said out loud, this is where the line came from, red telephone box, $620. And Jane said to me, what would you want with a red telephone box? I said, I don't know, but they wouldn't come up that often.
And Richmond great Dustin Martin has been caught up in Melbourne's falling property market, offloading his Port Melbourne apartment for less than what he paid 5 years ago. The premium pad with uninterrupted views of Port Phillip Bay was bought for $1.7 million in 2021. It sold for $1.6 million late last week. Turning to 5AA Sport.
For security, safety and style made to order, choose Gliderol Garage Doors. Gliderol.com.au.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Much interest in the tribunal tonight with Brisbane defender Ty Gallop in front up after his incident with Port's Mitch Georgiades. That was at the Gabba during the second quarter of the Lions' 59-point win over Port. Meantime, both SA sides will train this morning as they look ahead to their round 21 matches this coming weekend. Port will host GWS on Saturday night, while the Crows close out the round with a Sunday twilight clash against Essendon at Marvel Stadium. Meantime, Paddy Dangerfield's in doubt for Thursday night's clash against Collingwood. Geelong coach Chris Scott telling Fox Footy the captain will have to get through training tomorrow.
The hip was, he fell and his knee on the ground and jarred his hip. So, again, I'm talking about stuff I shouldn't talk about. Sometimes it turns around quickly. It's unlikely that we take him through from now until our last game. So there's some logic.
And Essendon's shortlist for coaches now includes Fremantle assistant Jamie Graham. The Bombers reportedly down to 4 candidates. Well, Australia currently leads the Commonwealth Games tally with 26 gold, 13 silver and 20 bronze medals thanks to a massive morning in the pool. Individual golds to Jenna Forrester, Sam Short, Meg Harris, Alex Perkins, Bo Matthews and Sam Williamson, capped by a dominant women's 4x200 metre relay win. And that is the 5AA Sport.
Smashing it. Now let's check the traffic.
G'day there at Croydon Park. Delays clearing from nearly a smash on the north-south motorway near Regency Road. Hove, a previous crash has closed Brighton Road outbound at Dunrobin Road. And O'Halloran Hill, a breakdown on the Southern Expressway inbound near Seacon Road to look out for today. In the city, twisted traffic like Grenfell Street near Wide Street and a camera to look out for this morning. Grant Avenue at Rose Park. This July, drive away in the new MY26 Honda CRV or HRV with 5 free services. Hurry, offer ends July 31. For T's and C's, visit honda.com.au. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Bring your event to life in a venue where it all comes together. Search Adelaide Convention Centre.
To the weather, showers and 15 today, a shower or two tomorrow, 14, cloudy on Thursday, also 14 and staying cloudy on Friday, 15. At the moment, 9 on 5AA, always Adelaide.
Adelaide's local, trusted and truly connected talkback radio station. 5AA, always Adelaide.
If you're a landlord, it's crucial to have a good property manager on your side. Like McGain Property Management. The kind of property manager that works hard to find out if it's an emergency or just a leaky tap. That's what good property managers do. They communicate with the tenant, liaise with you, they get it sorted, saving you money. McGain Property Management. Kylie and the team are only a phone call away.
Go Harvey Norman. Buy with no deposit 60 months interest-free on a participating Latitude credit card and get a bonus gift card up to $1,000. Furniture, bedding, TVs, fridges, computers and more. Shop with no deposit 60 months interest-free on a participating credit card from Latitude Financial Services and get a bonus $100 gift card for every $1,000 you spend. Monthly credit card fee currently $11.95 applies. Subject to change. New customers must be approved. Minimum finance $1,000. Equal monthly payments. T's and C's, charges and product exclusions. Don't miss this huge offer at Harvey Norman now.
If you love Barbara Streisand, this one's for you. And let's be honest, who doesn't? The Way We Were is coming to Adelaide, and it is so much more than a tribute concert.
Oh, wow. This is going to be incredible. It's a moving, heartfelt journey through Barbara's most beloved songs and the incredible stories behind them, brought to life by one of Australia's finest performers, Melinda Schneider. Melinda's voice, her warmth, her sheer talent. This is the kind of show that gives you goosebumps and it will leave you on your feet.
The Way We Were plays at Her Majesty's Theatre on August the 8th, and tickets are on sale now through Ticketek. Don't miss it, one night only.
So grab your tickets today at ticketek.com.au because this one will sell out.
KFC's new lunchtime box full range packs maximum chicken abundance into 5, 10 and $15 boxes. Good for you, bad for box. Defy the limits of the box with the KFC box full, only till 2 p.m. Pick up only, not everywhere and not forever. No swaps.
When it comes to iconic destinations, nothing beats Adelaide Oval. Now you can experience an overnight escape for 2 at the Adelaide Oval Hotel, starting from just $399. Retreat to your luxury room overlooking the parklands. Relax with a complimentary bottle of Hentley Farm Shiraz, plus a bonus Hentley Farm Zillador tasting in the Barossa Valley. Savour a decadent 3-course dinner at Bespoke Wine Bar and Kitchen with stadium views. Book now and stay iconic at ovalhotel.com.au.
So I accidentally mentioned my Big D obsession in the group chat the other day. Now all the girls are talking about it. Kelly's getting Big Difference home improvements around to quote on some outdoor blinds. Zoe's thinking about a veranda and Belle wants it all. She's looking at a full package. Decking, pergola, roller shutters, everything. Stop fighting your Big D envy and just go with it. Get Big Difference home improvements around for a free measure and quote. Visit bigdifference.com.au.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube. Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
21 to 9, it is Tuesday the 28th of July. Come Monday next week, it's Undy Drive time, where we will be throwing the full power and weight of the 5AA roster behind Catherine House and Hutt Street Centre. So Monday the 3rd of August, calling on you to support these wonderful charities to provide clean underwear for those in need. And you can start right now. There's no starter's gun. Right now, you can donate 5AAAndydrive.com.au. And, of course, there'll be a whole heap of ways you can get involved. Gratuitous plugs for business, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. We're happy to give you a shout-out if you support Catherine House and Hutt Street Centre for the Undy Drive. And big thanks to the great people at McGain too, because McGain... well regarded as the sort of organisation that supports charities and sporting clubs and so forth in South Australia. But specific thanks to their participation in the Undy Drive this year. They're massive supporters of local for over 50 years. McGain Real Estate, McGain Commercial, McGain Property Management. That's mcgain.com.au.
This next story, I think you sit in two camps, and as we tell you more about it, we'd love to hear which camp you're in. 8223 0000 is the number to call. I think it's pretty easy at the moment to bag councils.
Yes.
There's a lot of decisions that are made at a council level that are easily criticised, and most of them justifiably so. But there's been a debate that's started in the last 24 hours about a decision by Adelaide City Council to cut back on outdoor seating at a local cafe in North Adelaide. So yesterday, it's called Shadow Baking, and they're underneath 88 O'Connell Street, I believe, the new apartment building. They posted on social media and said, this is a bit of a bummer, but we're pausing our brunch at our North Adelaide store for now. The City of Adelaide's cut back most of our outdoor seating, which means way less room for everyone to actually sit down and eat. So brunch is off while we hopefully sort it out with them. They're still doing coffee and pastry, so they want people to still go in and support them. But they
did do. You were able to sit out on the footpath.
Yes, and now Adelaide City Council has come in and said we're going to take away some of that outdoor seating on the footpath. There's a lot of people online going, what is the council doing here? Surely they have bigger fish to fry. They've been allowed to have seating outside for ages. One of those who's gone online and is frustrated about this is an Adelaide City councillor, Mary Kouros, who joins you now. Good morning to you, Mary Kouros.
Good morning, Stacey.
So you are frustrated by this decision by council?
Well, it's been a discussion I've been having with administration for a couple of months now. Just to give your listeners a picture, Shadow Bakery, we know it's a very thriving little cafe on O'Connell Street, a destination place, and they have a servery window and built onto this property, and the seating is closest to the building, so it's partially on the building land and partially on the public land. So when people sit at the servery, obviously they pull out their chair, it becomes on the public footpath. So that is a breach of our policy. So you can't have seating on the line of the building on public realm. So this is the issue at the moment. So I hope that makes sense. I know our policies can be a little bit confusing. So the council's position is that the outdoor dining cannot be, it should be curb aligned only. So they have got their outdoor seating on the curb. However, they can't have their seating on their servery, which they have been enjoying for the first couple of months. And their customers can't sit down and have breakfast there. So as a result, we're working through it to find a solution for them, and it's just been a little bit frustrating.
Was this decision taken because of an incident, or was this out of an abundance of caution?
This was taken because there was a complaint. How
many complaints were there?
I'm not aware of how many there were. That's with administration. So it was a complaint. Apparently, when people were seating at the servery, they were pushing the seat back too far into the public realm. Then you have the seating on the side, on the curbside, where people were seating there. And because it's a very popular bakery, there are a lot of people around, and obviously you can understand that people weren't able to move through there, that this caused some complaints. So there in turn, there are solutions. We just are meeting with administration again on Thursday, We're working through maybe one solution will be to extend the garden bed to allow more clearance for the seating by the servery, or they can bolt the seating on the private land there so the chair doesn't move out onto the public realm. But this is all to do with our disability and access policy, so trying to work within the policy to get the outcomes for the business.
Just as sort of a definitional kind of issue, seats being pushed out, does that make the footpath inaccessible, or are we talking about so no one could get past?
Well, you can, but someone with a wheelchair couldn't get past.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really part of our disability and access policy. So it's frustrating because it's taken so long to come to a solution or to get to a solution. But, you know, like with everything with council, everything sometimes takes longer than what we would like. But I'm hoping that we'll get there because it is, I mean, businesses are doing it tough. This business is particularly from Sydney. So they're very confused about our very tough laws in outdoor dining policies. If you've ever been to Sydney, they can dine right in front of the building line, but we can't do that here. It's not part of our policy.
Around most of the world.
Yeah.
The cafe culture in Europe, and they managed to negotiate it. And why can't we?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's a question that I've been asking for a while. And what solutions can we give to in order to have that? Maybe we can do something else to help support, disabled people.
Let's bring in Patrick Ma now, who is another Adelaide City councillor, and he's gone on social media overnight to defend the decision of council. Patrick Ma, good morning to you.
Morning, Stacey. Will, how are you going?
Yeah, good, thank you. So, yeah, I think Mary's done a pretty good job of explaining that, you know, when the chairs are pushed out, it's inaccessible to someone in a wheelchair. My question is, why was it approved that Shadow Baking could have that form of outdoor dining? Because they've clearly designed their bakery this way, with a window and stools and chairs to be seated at the window. So it's been approved that they could have outdoor dining, right, by council, and now that's been taken away because of a complaint. Do you know why?
I don't think it was approved for this kind of seating to be in place. Now, what Councillor Cross has described is pretty close to correct. They are actually on a corner. They're on the corner of Archer and O'Connell there, so they've got what is quite a very busy pedestrian intersection at that point with a new building at Eddie at O'Connell. They do have some outdoor dining up against the curb that they're allowed to use. There are also some benches there that the patrons of the bakery can use. But I don't think what they've described and what they've posted pictures of on their post, the bakery's Instagram, probably wouldn't have been approved in the first place. I think it might have been something that was not operating lawfully ever.
Right. So do you sit on the side of, I guess, council on this one? You think that it's inappropriate to have the outdoor seating?
Absolutely, yeah. So when you come along as someone who let's take the typical example of someone who is blind and you're walking around with a cane, you use that cane to run up against the side of the building, and that's your it's called a shoreline. It's a guiding marker for you to get from A to B, and if there's something in the way, you'll have to step out into what is effectively an unsighted space. You won't have that guide anymore. You'll also be out of sync with the tactile markers at the end of the street to cross the road.
How do vision impaired people negotiate al fresco dining around the rest of Australia and the rest of the world?
This would be standard across South Australia.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. But why are we different everywhere else?
That would be a great question for the state government.
Well, but
so these are just the rules that we have to work within. So that's the case, and there's nowhere else in the city which is able to operate like this. This isn't a case of council picking on a business. This is just how the rules have been set out.
Yeah, not picking on a business. But is any weight given to the idea that you've got this business that's set up in the city of Adelaide in the worst business conditions we've had in a generation, and they've somehow made it work, and them making it work has drawn the ire of council? Like, is there any weight given to that in the decision?
I don't think any accessibility issue is something you can just discard. 1 in 5 people in Australia have a disability, and it's 1 in 6 people are over 65, and they will probably have some accessibility needs as well. So it's not nothing. It's probably one of the more important things that we can do is to make sure that all of our city is accessible.
I think this text message from Lyle sums up the attitude of a lot of people listening to this. We are all human, and if somebody comes with a wheelchair and our chair is in the way, we will get up and let them pass. I mean, that was the first thing I thought. If there is someone who's coming through who's, got a disability or has less mobility than I would, of course, get up and let them through. And I think every other person in Adelaide would do that. Is this bureaucracy getting in the way of common sense?
No, I don't think so. Here's the problem is because they're movable chairs, they can't actually move out of the way. So you can move them backwards into the into the footpath, but you can't actually move them any further into the building because the building's there. So it's not as simple as saying, "Well, just move out of the way." It's not going to happen. There's not enough space in the area for that to work.
The member for Adelaide, Lucy Hood, has written to council saying, well, there is a solution that doesn't involve impinging on the business's ability to trade, and that's changing the garden bed that exists there that's particularly wide, the verge. Has that been something that you guys have looked at or would be interested in looking at?
I'm sure council is looking at everything that they can. We've got quite an extensive policy for how outdoor dining can possibly work. It's also a new development, so there'll be some teething issues. I'm sure that happens in any development.
But with changing the verge, that'd be preferable to affecting the business, wouldn't it?
Potentially, but like I said, this is right on the corner next to the. There's a pedestrian crossing in both directions here, so there'll be other clearances, and that might not be the option that we can go with.
It just feels like hurting business is the path of least resistance sometimes, when it should be the opposite way.
Well, I don't think it should be hurting people with disability or accessibility needs either as the path of least resistance. We've got to draw the line somewhere, and that's been done for us with the policy and with the disability accessibility standards. So basically, these are the rules that we've got to work with. We can't just decide to throw those things away for the sake of, 4 chairs.
All right. Well, we'll keep following this and we'll see what the outcome ends up being. Patrick Marr, thank you for your time, Adelaide City Councillor, and Mary Kouros before that.
Lots of thoughts coming through. You said it very well at the start, I thought, Stacey. There are going to be 2 camps on this and they're coming through on the text line. Mm-hmm. We'll get to some of your texts on the other side of this break. Let's check traffic now. Thanks to Foodland, with more stores close to home and everyday low prices. Great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Morning there at Croydon Park. Delays clearing from Elliott Smash on the north-south motorway near Regency Road. Mitchell Park, car v pedestrian, Dawes Road near the train crossing seeing delays. And O'Halloran Hill, a breakdown on the Southern Expressway inbound near Seacombe Road. Getting busy at the moment. South Road, Edwardstown slowing up. Tapley's Hill Road, Glenelg North with the camera. Finnis Street, North Adelaide. The census is coming this August. You'll get instructions soon on what to do. In the census, every answer matters. Authorised by the Australian Bureau of Statistics, Canberra. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
The energy today, the amount of people who got up before dawn, walking 1 mile in the shoes of someone that has nothing.
Step up to end homelessness. Walk a mile in my boots. Register or donate today.
Hands down. No grout, no mould, and completely waterproof. Mr. Wet Wool takes half the time to install. It means your costs are kept down. So why wouldn't you, Mr. Wet Wool? Take a look at MrWetWool.com.
These days, $2 doesn't go far, but with the People First Community Lottery, it could. Get your $2 early bird tickets at communitylottery.com.au by midnight July 30 for a chance to win a Toyota Corolla Hybrid. T's and C's apply. 700,000 tickets available. SA Lottery licence number M15015.
Your old hot water system can drive as much as 40% of your energy bill. Fortunately, you can upgrade to something that's 70% cheaper to run thanks to Right Price. They're the leaders in heat pumps and installation. Now's the time to upgrade and save money on a more efficient hot water system and take advantage of government incentives and free installation. Reduce your energy costs today with a heat pump from Right Price. Make the switch with Right Price Hot Water.
At Right Price, heating and cooling, you can get the price right at Right Price.
Harris Scarf clearance event is on now. Save big on bedding, kitchen and electrical, plus huge reductions on women's and men's clothing, underwear and footwear. Hurry, stock won't last. Shop clearance now. Exclusions apply. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices.
Australia's favourite country rock band, the Wolf Brothers, are in South Australia this weekend on their Australian-made tour. With 15 golden guitars, 5 #1 albums and 20 #1 singles, the Wolf Brothers are known for delivering the most exciting live show in Australian country music. Catch the Wolf Brothers this Friday at the Gov in Adelaide and this Saturday at the Barossa Arts Centre in Tanunda. Special guest is the amazing Taylor Moss. Book your seats now on thewolfbrothers.com.
Is stress and mild anxiety ruling your life and making it impossible to sleep or even to focus? Stress isn't just in your head, it starts in your gut. Introducing Caruso's Anxiety Ease Probiotic. Caruso's Anxiety Ease Probiotic relieves symptoms of stress, mild anxiety and sleeplessness. It also supports focus and maintains energy levels. If you're tired of letting stress rule your life, try Caruso's Anxiety Ease Probiotic today from leading pharmacies and health stores.
If you're chasing real financial independence, real training and a real future, apply for an underground mining job with Burncut.
I'd really recommend Burncut to anyone who's interested in mining. They're organised, they have their systems in place, they really look after their people. That's always the biggest thing. They actually care about their team right from the bottom to the top. Lots of career progression. They definitely have my career at heart and done great things for me.
Real financial independence, real training and a real future. Apply now at burncut.com.
Knock down, build two with Metro Homes. Sell one and move on. Keep the other as an investment. Metro Homes. They do it all for you.
Will Goodings with Stacey Lee. This is 5AA Breakfast.
5 to 9. Well, we wondered about the Victorian Leadership Contest that was set down for 10 a.m. Adelaide time. It's not going to be contested by the incumbent any longer. Jacinta Allen, the Labor leader and Premier of Victoria, will stand down. She's going to speak to the media in about 5 minutes' time, and at that point in time, she will announce she won't be contesting the leadership, which I imagine then it might just be an uncontested ballot.
Yeah.
And the Deputy Premier will take over. The election is in exactly 4 months.
4 months until the election and the Premier's standing down.
Not as you said, Stacey. That is a saving the furniture exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Furniture very much the subject of discussion on the text line, given what we just heard out of the City Council with regard to the Shadow Bakery at 88 O'Connell.
Yep, lots of thoughts from you. Ben says these are truly first world problems. Imagine the real issues the council could be focusing on. What a waste of everyone's time. Scott says, morning guys. Basically, we don't care, is the council's response. This person keeps saying Adelaide City Council have oversized ashtrays on the footpath, but chairs are for a struggling business? No. I haven't noticed the ashtrays, but maybe I just don't look out for them. And a lot of people saying, well, did the council approve the outdoor dining or the offending verges in the first place? Because I don't think you can just build a business in the Adelaide City Council area without getting it approved.
Or that development would have been entirely approved.
Yes. And someone says, well, I once had a business in Hyde Park which had a display on the footpath, paid additional rentage for the privilege. Strict rules with distance from display to curb, ensuring set distance so sight impaired with their white sticks, their guide dogs could easily access the path, which, points to the reason or the issue that this happens in Norwood on the parade.
Yep.
Happens on
King William
Road.
Yep. Yeah, there are models that aren't that far from home. You don't have to go to Paris to work out how al fresco dining is compatible with modern living.
No. And someone says here, where was that text message? I thought it was quite interesting given what we've been talking about the last week here on the program. Inappropriate for Lucy Hood to advocate for a local business while still being happy to kick out a Mount Barker business completely.
Yeah, the Walk the Duck. Spectre of Walk the Duck. It just would be nice if philosophically every level of government said our last resort will always be hurting business.
Yeah. Let's do
everything else first
to fix this problem and make sure the business can still thrive.
Yeah, especially at the moment. Yeah. Especially right now. You're running a small business right now where your business is probably offset against your mortgage and your home.
Mm-hmm.
Like you literally have your entire life put into it, and these decisions are made around, them's the breaks, I guess, in the big city. Unbelievable. Let's have a look at the fuel situation as we go this morning. Lots of discussion about fuel with the Foreign Minister Penny Wong and indeed our fuel expert a little bit earlier. It's better to be a member with RAA Road Service. The cheap spots, unleaded at Paraka, $77.9. The Mobil at Hillcrest, $81.5. The cheapest diesel, the Liberty McCracken, $2.17.7. Doesn't sound that cheap all of a sudden. And the Mobil at Gillies Plains is at $2.21.5. Keep your thoughts coming through about North Adelaide as well, because we'll continue that conversation. Happy to keep it going. We'll continue to read your texts over the course of the day, but we'll catch you tomorrow morning from 6.
It's good fodder for talkback radio, I think.